Welcome to the Aceman, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you for downloading us. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it so very much. And if you have a moment, please give us that 5-star written review wherever you download your podcast. It's a great way to help the podcast. If you want to help us out another way, tell a friend. We all learn about podcasts from our friends' recommendations, and that's a way you can help us out by recommending us to a friend.
And the last way, if you really enjoy the show, is to go to our Patreon page and become a patron. And that is at www.patreon.com/behindthefunny. And what that will get you, it's one simple giving level, $5 a month. That will get you a t-shirt or a mug, some sort of merchandise, as well as unlocking bonus content that only our patrons can access.
Thank you so much for supporting us. If you want to reach out, you got a question for us, you got a comment, anything, please send us an email at behindthefunnypod@gmail.com.
And now, enjoy the show.
Be careful. He's
and Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care. As long as it's good stories. Thank you.
Welcome to the Aceman, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto.
And once again, thank you for joining us. We got a great episode this week. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the last few weeks. We have been enjoying this extremely overpaid for. Not overpriced.
You're going to bring it up until we finish all three bottles, aren't you?
All three bottles are gone.
Damn it.
I am going to rub it in because it is very delicious
good.
bourbon.
It is.
That my friend paid 3 times as much for as he should have.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids.
Clinks.
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 We made it.
There we go.
But this week we are enjoying, once again, Horse Soldier. And this week's is what?
It's Signature.
The Signature.
Yeah, so we had the
Ooh.
premium. We had
It's got
Signature.
a little bit of a spice to it.
More of a spice
But
on
it's
this
very
one.
delicious.
And then eventually we will get to the Reserve,
Yes.
which is the highest end. I'm curious to see what that one tastes like.
That's nice.
I
We're
think I'm
working.
going to be on that episode.
Yeah, we'll have you back. Yeah.
You want to be the third mic when we bring that one out?
Yeah, I definitely want to be on that episode.
But we definitely thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the last couple weeks. Tyler Bowe was a great guest last week, man. It was nice to talk to him and catch up. We haven't seen him in so long, man, since he moved out of the area. And glad he's doing so well. So
Yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed that one. But this week we have a guest in studio, and you guys know how much we love when they can join us because they can enjoy
They can drink with us.
delicious
Our
bourbon.
first question before they even get their foot in the door is, do you drink bourbon?
I think Ace, before he says, "Do you want to come on the podcast?" Do you drink bourbon?
Yeah,
When he
that's
texts him?
my hook. That's my hook.
That's his hook.
He didn't even ask me that. He was just like, yo, you want to do the podcast? I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
The bourbon came after. It was
But-
like an upsell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like an upsell.
If he
Well,
doesn't
we
hook
want to
you with the
thank you
podcast.
for saying yes by giving you the bourbon. So we didn't have to hook you in with that. But no, we're excited about tonight's guest because, as I said in the bio, this guy hasn't been doing comedy for, well, I don't know, we'll get to how long, but obviously not as long as the dinosaurs we are. But but he's making a name for himself not only as a comic but as a producer, because he's producing shows like mad too. So we want to welcome to the Behind the Funny podcast, Mr. Anthony Smith, a.k.a. Mr. Kuze.
Yeah, Mr. Kuze. Mr. Kuze.
Oh, Kuze.
Yeah.
You're going to put a little
You got-
apostrophe at the end of
You need
that
the
then, so we say it
ampersand
right. Yeah.
above the E.
Oh, now I got to change it on the fucking banner.
No, it's all good.
No,
it's
it's all right.
all good.
He's a perfectionist.
I am. I'm putting it in
Kuze,
right
so
now.
that's
keep
French.
talking.
Actually, no. It's Cape Verdean.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm.
Is that where you're from?
No, I was born here, but I'm of Cape Verdean descent.
Descent?
Yeah, my great grandmother was born there, and I got Cape Verdean blood on my dad's side.
I
too.
see. So see?
So, yeah.
So what is the Story behind Kuze.
All right, so the story behind Kuze is I was doing a lot of videos. I was doing some videos with a fellow comic named Dale Culver. You know Dale?
Yeah, we know
Me and
Dale.
Dale was doing a lot of videos and stuff like that. You know, Dale got kind of busy. So I was like, you
In
know
other
what?
words, he dropped you.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No, he didn't drop me.
We're talking shit about Dale Culver now.
Nah, man.
I'm kidding.
Nah, Dale, he just got busy.
Yeah, he
with
got busy
doing
with other
stuff
stuff.
or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me just venture out and start doing some videos. So one of the first videos that I did on my own, I happened to do like a DNA test. You know how they had the 21,
Yeah.
21
yeah.
me or whatever.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
made fun of it, and because me
It's
being
23 in me.
Yeah,
If you got
23.
21, you got some issues.
yeah, it was 23 and me. There we go.
I thought he was talking about Forever 21. I'm like,
No,
dude,
no.
whatever you do.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I started doing some videos, or whatever. And
Yep.
the first video I did, it happened to be me talking about my Cape Verdean descent.
Mm-hmm.
If you know about Cape Verdean people are known to have a lot of cousins,
Okay.
known to have a
Big
lot
families.
of cousins, big families. Like, you know what I mean? You could be an uncle at like 4 years old. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
like,
right.
Grandpa's still getting it in, you know? So I ended up doing the video, and in the video, the word Kuze in Creole, it means what? So I happen to say it because I speak a little Creole, not much, but I happened to say that, and I said, "What?" I said, "Kuze, 35 cousins," because I was doing a
You
video.
found out how many cousins you
Yeah.
had. Yeah.
So I did that, and then out of nowhere, the video blew up.
Yep.
It had a whole bunch of views. Like I had to turn my phone on silent.
Really?
Like it went viral. So like I ended up doing a show. I come back, whatever, and there was people from Cape Verde. There was people from everywhere, and they started calling me
Mr.
Kuze. Kuze.
Yeah.
Then somebody was like, "Yeah, you're Mr. Kuze," and I ever since then,
That's so funny.
I just took it.
That's a cool way
Yeah.
to get a nickname.
That is a cool
That
way
is
to
a
get
cool
a
way to
nickname.
get a nickname.
And see, it's funny because most people mispronounce it as Kuze. Because literally, like everyone I talk to at the comedy park,
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
go,
"Oh
"Hey,
yeah,
yo, you know
Kuze.
Kuze?
You know Kuze?" Yeah, exactly. And then
I don't even correct them. I'm like, "Yeah, that's."
I
What's
think
up.
we talked about this once. We were both. So here's the problem with Rhode Island. It's too fucking small.
Yeah.
So I'm producing a Royal Flush show at the Pub on Park. The same night you're producing one of your shows
Yeah.
at the Comedy Park. And so some woman walks in and I go, "Hi, yeah, do you have tickets?" And she goes, "No, I'm here to see Mr. Kuze." I go, "Who?" And I didn't know that was your nickname at the time. I only knew you as Anthony, right? I go, "Who the fuck is Kuze?" She goes, and she kind of gave me a little attitude. She goes, "The guy running this show." I go, "I'm running this show." I said, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Is this the Comedy Park?" I go, "No, it's the Pub on Park." I know. And then I felt bad for her because I'm like, yeah, I know. You got two places doing comedy on the same night, literally
On the
within a
same
mile of
street.
each other.
On the same street.
They're both on Park Avenue.
Both on
they
Park
both
Ave.
have Park in their names. It can get confusing. So
It's
That's
funny
Rhode Island.
that night.
yeah.
I had like
And
3
you
or
had
4
people-
people. I had 3 or 4 people. They're like, "Yeah, we came for the Ace Aceto show, the
of
Ace show."
course.
And I was
Of
like,
course.
hold on.
Yeah.
I was like, "Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna pull out your phone.
Yeah,
You're gonna go
go
right down the street.
down the
Google
street,
it,
yeah.
so you don't get lost." I'm like, "You know the bowling alley?
Yeah,
And with the
yeah,
little-
exactly.
They're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
go over there." I'm like,
that's
"All right,
where it
cool."
is. Right.
He's doing his show in a comedy club. You're doing yours.
I'm doing it at a fucking bowling alley. Well, that's
Hey, I
That's
didn't
my
say
life.
that to do that.
I did.
Don't
I
do
did.
that.
That's
I
all right.
did.
That's all right.
Don't be doing that.
That's all right because I've done one Flush at the Comedy Park, and I got
Yeah.
another one coming up April 29th, and then I'm back at the Pub on Park in June 10th. So
nice.
I'm trying to do them every other month. You know, I don't want to overexpose, but I'm trying to do them every other month now.
Now that hey,
You know?
you put together a great show.
Yeah.
And it looks like you guys are putting together some really
Shows
good shows
all the
too,
time.
because
And different
from the
concepts.
right? From the pictures and
Yeah.
the comics we see on the show, you're drawing some really good crowds,
Yeah.
and hell, NBA players are coming to your
Yeah,
shows.
yeah, we
No
had
shit.
Yeah, we had
Was it
Odom.
Lamar Odom,
yeah, we had
right?
Lamar Odom. And T Bell, he decided to do his debut. So I had help on that. I will admit, my homegirl Tara, shout out to you. She, she threw me a little alley oop. I dunked it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so we had Lamar Odom there, T Bell there.
That's
we had,
awesome.
Yeah, we had a good crowd there. That show was fun too, man. The fun thing, right? I'm hosting it, so I had Brad Pierce on the show.
Yeah.
I had my homegirl Reese Cotton. And so, we're doing a thing. I'm hosting now. Lamar Odom, he's almost 7 feet.
Yeah, right.
He's tall.
He ain't
He's tall,
sneaking
tall.
in.
No,
Yeah.
and he had a nerve to wear like some fur.
Flashy shit.
Some flashy shit, right?
It's like, dude, you're in Cranston, Rhode Island.
I didn't care about that. I was more concerned that I'm in the middle of doing what I'm doing. He's trying to sit down, but he's trying to do it sneaky. And I'm like, as
There's
big
no
as you are, there's
sneaky.
no sneaks. Lamar, sit your big ass down. I
Right.
see you.
Yeah.
Everybody sees you. You're
Right.
the only one that can touch the ceiling. Sit your big ass down. He had a Chewbacca fur on him. Like Bigfoot.
Yeah, right.
For real, like, you look like a
Yeah.
classy Bigfoot. Sit your big ass down.
That's funny. Yeah, I know Brad posted a thing because I think Brad was fucking with who? T-Bell?
Yeah. T-Bell was fucking with
fucking
him.
with Brad.
But
That's
see,
what it was.
T-Bell was fucking with him, but Brad didn't know that he was on the
That
show.
he was there. Yeah. Oh, he was.
Brad didn't know that he was even
that's
on
so
the
funny.
show, so I just let it go. I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, this is gonna be funny when
Well,
he finds
listen.
out."
Every time, literally once a week now, we get a text from Brad. Oh my God! I got to come back on the show.
I got another story.
I got another story for you. You're not gonna believe. And
every week.
we said it. We said we got to have a monthly segment with Brad because Brad opens his mouth and gets in trouble on a consistent basis, and he can't help himself.
He digs himself
We said
a
it.
hole
We
all
said
the
it.
time.
You could say, Brad. You could do any material you want. Just don't say the word train.
He'll say train.
15 minutes in, he's like, "All right, guys, I can't help it. The white elephant in the room.
Yo, you sound
I got to
just
talk
like
about
him.
a train because
sounds
I'm not
just
supposed
like
to, but I can't help it." Yeah, that's Brad.
They told
He
me not
cannot
to
help
say
him,
train, but
but I can't help it. He is crazy.
The funny part about that show that day is Brad was like, "We got to get him to the front because he's like, we got to get him up to the front."
Yeah.
And Tavares sat
He was
right
in the front. Right. I know.
I was like, "You asked for that, bro.
yeah, exactly.
You asked for that.
You set yourself up for that shit.
Yeah,
Right?
You set yourself up.
I
man.
love Brad though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
love him
so much fun. I love watching him on stage because you know at some point he's going to dig himself a hole.
Yep.
And it's watching him climb out of that hole is one of the most fun things.
Sometimes he does all right though.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of it.
He
Like
does. He
most of the
does.
time he does all right. There's a few times I was like, "Ooh,
Whether he
Brad.
but that's the funny thing is whether he climbs out or not, it's entertaining to watch him try.
Absolutely.
You know? So when did you start doing comedy?
I started doing comedy 2012. 2012. It's going to be 11
so you're
years in
coming up
April.
on 11. Wow.
Yeah, coming up on 11. I started with John Parada at the Comedy Connection.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the
Brother
story of
Connection.
most people.
Yeah,
in Rhode
brother.
Island.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, what do you got? You got 25 people you can bring? I'll pay you.
I'll give you $5 a person.
$5 a head.
$5
Everyone.
a head.
Yeah.
That's what
gotta love
exactly
it, yeah.
exactly what he said to me.
Yeah.
The funny part is I didn't know what he was talking about because I never did comedy before. I didn't know what a bringer was or whatever. So he was
Right.
like, "Yeah, just bring people or whatever. You get this $5." And I was
Yep.
like, "All right, whatever." I wasn't focused on that. I was just like, I'm
You
about
just
to
wanted to
do
get
it.
up and do
Right.
comedy. Yeah.
What made you want to do it?
All right, so I've been funny all my life. I always loved comedy or whatever. I should have did it 10 years earlier, but I ended up having kids, and you know what I mean. Like it was, I was trying to do the family thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just
After 10 years, you said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
I got to get out of the
Family-
house.
No,
I got to do anything to get out of the fucking house.
Nah, it wasn't even that, man. At the time, my pops wasn't too, feeling too good. He was he was already sick. And I had a conversation with him. I had a conversation with certain people, and it was just like, "Yo, you need to do something that you love to do. You love to make people laugh, or
Life's
whatever."
too short.
Yeah, like don't wait till you get old. That's what he said. Don't wait till you get old and then you regret it. You need to just go ahead and do it.
Right.
So when he told me that, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what happened. I just, at the time you had Google. I looked on a computer and I was like, all right, local mics or whatever. And then, I was like, all right, cool. I looked it up and John Parada came
So
up.
you didn't take a class? You didn't?
I
do
didn't take no
anything?
class, no nothing. I just went in there.
How did you prepare your material to get ready for that first time on stage?
All right,
did you talk to anybody? Did you do what?
No.
How did you get ready for that first time?
Well, I didn't know nobody in comedy. I didn't know who to go to, whatever. Like I said, I just Googled. I ended up with John Parada's number. I called him. I said I wanted to do it, whatever. So it was I started in April 22nd. I called him in March. He gave me the date for that day. I watched Richard Pryor's special where he's wearing a silk suit, 1977, I believe. And
Is that live on Sunset?
Red
yeah,
Suit?
no, not live on Sunset. That was when he did with Patti LaBelle. And he did. It's like one of the first ones that he did.
Yep.
And I watched that literally every single night. I watched it over and over. Not for jokes. I watched his stage presence.
To watch the stage presence and learn
The
how to
mechanics.
act on stage.
Yeah. I was looking for mechanics,
Yep.
how he transitioned into jokes, how he did certain things, story lineups,
Yep.
and
Yep.
how he
Yep.
just did everything. So I just kept studying it, like repetitively. Like
Right.
my friends would like come over the house and I put
you're
it on.
watching this thing
Yeah,
again?
watching it
Yeah.
again, and like you're not even laughing. It's not even funny to you because I watched it so many times. But I'm like,
Because you're studying.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
not-
focused
You're not
on
watching
this.
it for entertainment. You're watching it because you're studying it. Right.
That's what I did for a whole month straight.
Wow.
Whole month, every day.
And
Now-
how did you come up with your material?
Basically,
Everyday stuff.
I
Stuff in
came
your
up with a
life.
few family jokes.
Yep.
I came up with I like a little bit of racist comedy, a little bit of racist stuff. I kind of did a combo plate. So like, I didn't realize 5 minutes was long.
Until
I didn't
you're
realize
right.
5 minutes was long.
You don't
Yeah.
until that first time you're on stage.
You're like-
and you burn through 5 minutes in 3.
Yeah.
and you're like, I still got to do
I still
two
got
more
to do
minutes.
2 more minutes.
Yeah,
and that
so-
2 minutes is like an eternity.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So I just came up with a combo plate.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I came up with a combo plate. And I just realized in my head, I was like, from watching Richard Pryor, I was like, whatever jokes you have, just try to line them up. Make sure the transitions are good.
Right,
Try not
the
to have any,
segues.
try not to have any little like areas where you're just looking stupid, where it's just dead.
And going,
Yeah,
what else can I talk about?
Yeah, I didn't want none of
Yeah.
that. So I just was like, boom, 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 done. And then that was it. So all my jokes went through good. My first set, one of my jokes from my first set, I still actually use
Yeah.
sometimes
Still do-
today.
Yeah.
It just
happens.
expanded and transformed
Now,
into
of
something
course.
bigger. But
Now,
Yeah.
how many people did you bring the first time?
about like 50.
Wow.
Wow.
So
50
you had
people.
a good set.
Well, I wasn't, because I was class clown.
Mm-hmm.
I got kicked out of preschool.
Did you?
Standing up doing the Michael. I got kicked out of preschool for standing up doing the Michael Jackson. Pull my pants down, do the Michael Jackson on the table.
Oh, my
You know what I mean?
God,
I was
yeah.
never scared. Like I was
Yeah.
never scared of nothing like that. So like,
See, that's talent. I got thrown out for doing the Pee Wee Herman dance.
Yeah.
He's doing Michael Jackson.
but
How do you like school, Billy? Closed.
Sorry, that's my favorite Pee Wee Herman joke. I still do that.
I love his impressions are good. I love it.
That on.
So your first time went well, obviously.
Yeah,
You
my
had a
first
ton
time
of
went
people
good.
there.
First time went excellent.
Second time, did you bring a bunch of people?
Second time I did.
Okay.
Second time I did. I brought another bringer.
Yep.
Second time it wasn't the 50, but it was about like 30.
Yep.
You know,
So it went well.
It went well. It went
When
really
was
well.
that first time where you
Yeah.
didn't have any friends in the audience and you're like, oh shit?
I started
This is
burning.
real.
I started burning out around November.
Okay.
November, like December, I started burning out. People like, we came and seen you already. We
Right,
came and
exactly.
seen you already.
Yeah, everyone wants to support you when you first start, but they don't realize, like, yeah, I'm still working this stuff out. So you're not going to see a new 5 minutes every week. I'm still trying to work on this.
Well, again, I didn't know better.
Right.
A
So
lot of guys don't.
I was like, all right,
kept
I
writing
did
a
that
new
5
5.
minutes. I'm going to do
Yeah.
another 5 minutes. I'm going to do another 5 minutes. And I was burning
And
myself
some
out.
of them don't work.
Oh,
yeah.
I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Basically, what he's kind of asking is when was that first kind of bomb or not go so well because you didn't have friends in the crowd and it wasn't a friendly crowd. It was,
Not
they
that it was
didn't-
horrible.
Not that it was
but
horrible, but it was
All
the
right.
first
You weren't
time you
feeling
walked
at
up
home anymore.
to a blank crowd that didn't really know you, and you didn't have home field advantage, and you didn't quite earn it that night.
All right, this is gonna sound weird, but all right. So normally when I've noticed when I first started doing my thing, whatever, I had a set, and I don't know, I'm superstitious about certain things.
Yep.
So it was around my birthday. It was around my birthday. My birthday is July 29th. I'm a Leo, so it was around my birthday. I wore blue because I like blue. I really love blue, and I went to I did another bringer show at the Comedy Connection. I did another bringer show. I brought some people there. I covered my bringer, and I felt like, I don't know, for some odd reason, I don't know. I was wearing the blue, and the Connection. You ever perform at the
yeah.
Connection?
Oh, yeah.
So the mic, there's a tiny stage, whatever. The cord kept getting caught up. Like I got frustrated because I'm moving around.
Yeah,
a
you're
lot.
moving around and it's getting hung up.
It's getting hung up. And certain things was happening, like I just wasn't feeling it. Like I went through it and did what I had to do.
Right.
But for me, I'm very hard on myself. And at that moment, I was like, something's not right.
Yeah.
So but I did my thing, whatever. But for me, it was like a C
Yeah.
minus set. And I wore blue again. and for some odd reason,
Same thing.
I had the same
So
problem.
You don't wear blue anymore.
I
Or you
didn't
didn't wear it for a while.
I didn't wear it for years. I
Yeah.
didn't stop wearing blue again until recently.
Really?
But here's the thing. So I'm a colors person, so I don't like red. But a
Yeah.
lot of people will see me in red to
Right.
the point they think it's my favorite color.
Yeah.
So I figured out a regimen or routine or
Yeah.
whatever that works. So I started wearing red for some odd reason, gave me like that confidence back again. I was
Yeah.
like, I never wear blue again. And I didn't wear blue for years. I was
Wow.
like, I'm not going to wear blue. Like, it was like stupid. Some people, oh, it's
No.
dumb. But I just wouldn't
Everyone's
wear blue.
got superstitions, yeah.
Yeah, because I was fighting the microphone. I was like,
Yeah.
like everything was just falling apart. Like,
When you wore blue.
yeah, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, ugh.
That's not stupid because I have certain shirts that I've worn on stage when I've had great sets that I will never wear anywhere else except when I'm performing.
Yeah.
They're now in the closet and is okay. These
And he doesn't even wash them, which is a little
Oh,
gross.
so they got like a little
Yeah.
must to them,
Yeah.
little twang on
A
it.
little
It's
musky.
it's kind of like an athlete until I bomb, they're
Yeah.
not getting washed. No, but I have certain shirts that I've put aside that I'll only wear on stage because I always seem to do well when I'm wearing that shirt. And if I
Right?
bomb,
I feel you.
If
Yeah.
I bombed in a shirt, it's never going to be worn on stage again. That goes into
Yeah.
I'll wear that
I'll wear
to
that
do
out
yard work
to dinner.
you know,
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
I haven't had too many bombing experiences. I've had them. We all have them.
Yeah.
I haven't had too many bombing experiences, but I'm a type of person when I bomb, like, I take it serious. You know what I mean? Like, some people bomb and they're like, oh, it's okay.
No.
Oh, no.
I
well,
bomb, I'm like, don't
No.
talk to me.
But there
I got to
are-
go in the lab.
But there are also people that don't have self-awareness, and
Right.
we've all met the ones that go, oh, yeah, I crushed last night. And then you talk to someone that was at the show, and they're like, they did not crush last night.
Or they
They
blame
did
the
not.
audience.
Oh, yeah. The audience sucked.
The audience
everyone
sucked.
else did all right.
The guy that never has a great set and always blames the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, they were tight. Oh, they were this. Oh, they were that. No, it was you.
Yeah. It was Passover.
No, the people that blame
It didn't work. It was Passover.
I never do well on Arbor Day.
There were no Jewish people in the crowd. What the fuck are you talking about?
I was just getting ready to say that. The people that blame the audience never view the crowd.
Right.
Like,
You have to read the crowd.
you
That's part
always
of
have to
doing
read
comedy.
the crowd. You always have
People
to.
don't realize it. So I've said this before, like a long time ago. My degree is in psychology, and I'm not a PhD. I got a bachelor's degree in psychology. But comedy is psychology. That crowd is the crowd or the what do you call it? The that mentality, the mob mentality.
Yep.
They turn on you.
Quick.
You're done.
Quick.
You're done. And depending on where it is, like we've all talked about Nick's up in
Boston.
Boston.
Comedy Cellar.
Back in the day, I don't know how it is. I haven't been there in a while, but back in the day, if you didn't hook them on your first or second joke and
You're
they
done.
decided they
You're
didn't
done.
like you, you were fucking done.
Because Boston is different.
That's it. It is. It is.
Boston is different.
But isn't it weird how Boston is different, yet a lot of Boston comics will complain about Rhode Island crowds because we're so blue collar, and they're like, "Oh, you know,
That would have hit in Boston.
that would have hit in Boston." Well, you're not in Boston.
You're not in
if you want to
Boston.
work, just like if I want to work outside of Rhode Island, I got to work a Boston crowd.
Well, when I started in Boston. I didn't
Yeah.
do Rhode Island for a couple of years.
Right.
And when I
You
was
worked up to it.
When I was in Boston, no, just because the person that introduced me was
Was
a
out
Boston
of Boston.
comic.
I know. It's
And-
a joke, buddy. Calm down.
No, I didn't. It just wasn't funny.
Yeah. Okay.
So
He
anyway, I was in.
Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
I was doing.
I like Scott. Leave me alone.
No.
I was doing like the Comedy Connection. I was doing those type of places, and the guys that worked those places wouldn't work at the Comedy Studio because they said, they just want you to try to do intellectual shit. They don't care about
Politics.
funny.
Right. But a lot of the
and then the
comedy
guy and the
studio
studio
people-
guys would say, "Oh, they just want to hear dick
Dick jokes,
over
yeah.
there. They don't want to hear anything intellectual." So even within Boston, there was two
Right.
schools of thought when it came.
But see, to
comedy.
me, if you truly want
Funny
to be
is
a
funny.
comic, you should be able to do it anywhere.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and that's
you
the
have
thing.
to adapt.
You'd see somebody like Greg Fitzsimmons.
Yep.
I got to work with him up in Boston back in the day, and he did a night over at the studio and crushed, and then he came over and did 2 shows at the Connection and crushed.
And crushed, exactly.
And, no, that's comedy. When you
Right.
can adapt it no matter where you go, that's real comedy. And Jerry Seinfeld said it in his documentary Comedian, your material needs to work every night
Everywhere.
in front of every type of crowd.
Exactly, and that's why, like, we do a lot of fundraisers, a lot of VFW, Elks Lodges, and stuff like
man.
that. But you know what?
Ooh.
But but I love those crowds. I love those crowds just as much as I love a club.
Because we're the same age as most of them.
Right. Yeah. Well,
That's why.
just because I carry my Elks card in my wallet.
No, I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Now, Ace, I'll be honest with you. I do
Now, why
like
did
those
you-
crowds, but
I was going to say, why did you just go, who, when he said Elks?
all right, well, because so there's different Elks places. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? There's
of
different
course.
Elks places and certain things. So it's like, I did an Elks club in Wareham.
Yep.
And it's different from an Elks club in Warwick.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's totally different. So like, if you don't gauge and pay attention to what you're going on, you gotta
You have to look at the crowd, right.
Yeah, and you gotta
have
hope
to-
that the bar is not near the stage.
Oh yeah.
You gotta hope
the
that
worst.
that lodge is like, all right, the bar is away from the stage. Because if it's, you're gonna
It's
have
the
a rough
worst.
time.
I did a Funny for Fun show this past year, and it was in Warren, Rhode Island, and literally where they had me set up, I had the stage set up here. The bar was directly to the right of the stage. People literally during the show are walking up by the stage to go to the bar, and then there's a line.
Yeah.
So now I'm waiting.
Shut up, Ace. I'm trying to get a drink.
Exactly.
I did one in New Bedford one time, a Funny Fun show. Dave Sinclair was running it.
Yep.
And one guy didn't want to walk carrying all the drinks he had for his table the long way around back to his table, so he literally cut through the pipe
stage?
and drape system behind us to get to his table, which was up
So he
front.
came out from
Don't
behind
mind me,
the
guys.
curtain.
Don't,
Yeah,
don't mind me. Just keep
Yeah.
telling your jokes. Keep
And
telling your
he
jokes. You funny.
And he tripped over the pipe.
Oh my
and
God.
dropped half his drinks. And Christina Thomas was on stage.
Yep.
And he dropped half his drinks. And it's like, all right, I guess we're in New Bedford.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? I know.
It's just one of those things. But again, that's one of the, we talk about it all the time. People think comedy can fit in anywhere.
Exactly.
and,
like you could put it anywhere, and,
and-
you really
and-
can't. It's
No, you
not going to
can't.
work in certain places.
No, you can't.
and for some reason, people think when they're in the audience that you can act like you're watching TV. I can talk. I can do this. I can do
Right.
that.
No.
No.
It's
You
so
can't.
fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's funny that you guys said like with the Boston and like there's two different sets of
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah.
Now me being a black comic, it's like 3 or 4
Yeah, yeah.
because I have
Well,
an urban.
I was going
Right.
to transition.
I was going
into
to say
that.
I have an urban. I have an
Right.
urban set
That's a
that I
whole
can do.
different
That's a
audience.
whole different
Yeah.
audience.
Well, it's funny because you said that, and one time I worked with a guy, and they were like, "Oh, he's like the Black Godfather of Boston comedy." It was Jonathan Gates.
Jonathan Gates.
Oh, yeah.
And I had
I got a story for you.
In literally until I worked with him probably 10 years ago. So I had been doing it maybe 24 years. I had never heard of Jonathan Gates.
Never heard of Jonathan Gates.
Because I did all these clubs that are whitewashed, and I was never in fucking Dorchester doing shows. Jonathan Gates is a legend up there, though.
Yeah. Oh man,
But
he's a legend.
He didn't do the standard clubs like Jimmy Smith, who passed away a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
black comic.
Yep.
He used to do urban shows, but he also did Comedy Connection
He
in
crossed
Boston.
over. He was the guy that crossed over.
Whereas Jonathan just stuck with the urban
See.
side and the urban shows. So I had never heard of him.
That's what I'm in the process of doing right now.
Yeah.
Is trying to cross over and
Yeah.
trying to because like don't get me wrong, I love doing the urban shows.
Of course.
But the urban shows are a whole different experience.
But no matter what anytime you are catering to just one crowd, you're not getting yourself out there.
You're
It's
not
just like me.
maximizing your
It's
full
like
potential.
me not doing an urban show.
Yeah.
If I'm only doing clubs and VFWs and Elks Lodges and I'm not doing a show in downtown Pawtucket, I'm not getting to a whole wider audience that might appreciate my comedy. So
Yeah.
But I will say this about urban shows because I've done a few. When those crowds love you,
They love
you.
love you.
oh, they love you.
They
They love you. You're invited to the cookout.
Yes, yeah.
They'll say some stuff that make you question that white boy right there.
Right.
That white boy, that motherfucker funny.
There is
right.
nothing better than performing at one of those shows and making those people jump up out of their seats,
Listen.
and
Yeah.
laughing, and that is like, oh my god, that energy is
It's different.
I did
Unbelievable.
I did the comedy bus this past week. All right.
I'm actually gonna be doing that
And
soon.
it was fun. It was Sunday, so it was easier. They said
A lot of walkers
It's
and
not.
canes.
No. Actually, Actually, no.
He was on the Ripta bus.
Yeah.
He was on an actual bus.
Oh, shit, I was
He
on
got
the
on
wrong one.
bus.
He on the wrong bus.
I was on the wrong bus.
He's on that Broad Street bus before they go to Crossroads.
He was wondering why he had to pay to get on.
No
$2.
wonder.
They said
Hey.
they was gonna pay me
No wonder we.
$2. What the fuck?
No wonder.
I'm Ace Aceto, baby.
No,
No,
won-
I'm performing.
No wonder we ended at Talkwatton on the waterfront, the old folks' home. No, I did the comedy bus, and so some of the people that came on were pretty urban, like flat brim hats. They was
He didn't know how to say. He's looking at me. He's like,
no, they weren't black. They were Hispanic, Hispanic.
snap.
And I was like, I'm not fucking. It's like face tattoos and shit like that. I'm like, I ain't doing crowd work with these
about to do
motherfuckers.
crowd work
Right?
with MS-13.
No, exact. The Latin Kings are coming on the comedy bus. I'm not doing
Ace
that.
had a curved hat. He flattened it out.
Yeah,
No, I'm like,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
He's flattening it out.
Yeah, it said Scott Higgins Comedy All Stars. I flattened that shit out. No, but honestly, they were so fucking awesome. They laughed at everything. They had a blast. At one point, I do the Foster Gloucester joke. I go, anyone here from Foster or Gloucester?
You said that on the bus?
I did. I did, and guess what?
Too much.
Guess what? One of the flat rim hats guys raised his hand. I go, oh, I ain't
No,
fucking
you're
with
not. No, you're not.
I go, nah, I did the line where I normally go, I ain't fucking with you. You probably got a gun rack on the back of your truck. or Civic.
I would ask if he's in witness protection.
Dude, I wasn't going to go too
I would have asked
hard.
that shit too, because come
No.
on, man.
Yeah.
You could get away with it. I can't. I would have ended up slit my throat. It was, but you know what? They were so much fun, and they all came up after. They were
Yeah.
like, man, that was so much fun. You were so funny. I loved it. And I'm like, see, you judge a book by its cover in it, and I was totally wrong.
But you know what? It's good for any comedian to put themselves in a situation where they think they might be uncomfortable. Put yourself outside your comfort zone. You know, like you kind of made a face earlier, and I know you were joking about the Elks Halls and stuff like that. If those are not the thing you normally do,
No, I
go
normally
do
do
them
'em.
anyway.
I normally do them.
Yeah.
I know you do.
I do them a lot.
And that's good. You should put yourself in those situations to get better at those, because they're only going to make you better as a comic.
Right.
To put yourself in the situations where you're not comfortable to get better at them.
Exactly.
Because you're going to
But
do
that's
great
to a
at the
point.
shows you like. So you want to get better at the ones that you're not so comfortable in, just to make you a well-rounded comic.
But it's to a point.
To a
You don't
point,
want to
yeah.
do a KKK rally.
Well, he doesn't.
I actually did something close
you?
to it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
No.
Is your last name Biggs?
I did. I did a show. It was a pig roast.
All right.
It
So
was
that's
a
a good
pig
start.
roast.
Was it in Burville?
No, it was in like Massachusetts. Like I was like, yo, I called them rednecks. They said
Yeah.
no, we're swamp possums.
Swamp possums.
They
Yeah.
corrected you by saying
Yeah,
that?
I was like,
I don't know a redneck. I don't know the
swamp.
difference
There's like
between
it's the
swamp possum.
it's the northern way to say redneck.
Oh, okay.
I'm not about to debate that.
They don't want to be associated
Not in
with the
that moment.
southern rednecks.
Yeah.
Not in that
yeah.
moment.
I don't want to debate that. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
whatever. But it was
Wow.
we was drinking moonshine.
Really?
Like real moonshine that they made.
That
Yeah,
they
it was
made,
in like
yeah.
a mayonnaise
Yeah.
jar that was rinsed out. What mason
Yeah.
jars? It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no name. It was
Right.
yeah. It was kind of. I was like,
Wow.
ugh. But I did it. I don't care. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
because you know what, you're going to grow as a comic, and
Yeah.
you're gonna bring your brand of comedy to a different audience that normally wouldn't see someone
I know.
like you.
It
You
works.
know what I mean? Or someone like me. Those guys. I guarantee, other than the comedy bus, they're not going to the comedy park or
No,
the
no, exactly.
or an Elks Lodge. Well,
The weirdest one that I was in was by accident. I'll never forget this. I was just talking about this the other day with a comic. It was back in the I want to say mid to late 2000s.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like 90s.
Yeah.
I got
That'd
booked.
be me. That's when I
got
started.
booked for this show, and I thought it was weird, but I was like, all right, I don't care, I'll do it. And I show up, and it was opening up for Earthquake.
Oh, you opened up for Earthquake?
Yes, I did.
Earthquake.
Earthquake. And I show up, and the club the manager goes, "Hey,
I would have did the same
Are
thing.
you sure you're here on the
goes-
right night?
she goes, are you coming to watch the show?" I said, "No, you booked me for this weekend." I booked you for next weekend. I go, "No, I got it on my book." This is back when we wrote them down.
Yeah.
I said, "I got it on my book for this weekend." I said, "If I'm wrong, tell me."
Right.
She goes and looks. No, she got me and the comic she wanted that gave us the wrong weekends.
Oh, so you both switched
So
up.
she had the black comic for the next weekend, opening up for the white headliner,
Oh,
and
my
she had
God.
me with Earthquake
With
for that
Earthquake.
weekend. And so she calls up the other guy and said, "Hey, can you make it down here quick?" Earthquake. And he
I
said,
got some white boy here.
and
He
he's-
ain't gonna do
and
good.
he's like, "No, I got this weekend full. I can't come down." And she goes,
Oh shit.
"You're here. Do you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here. I'll do it."
Yeah.
And I walked out on stage and I abandoned my material and I just started shitting on myself.
Yep.
And I started making fun of them for booking me on the wrong weekend, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
They
was smart.
They loved it.
You have to shit
They
on yourself.
ate it up.
Listen.
And even Earthquake was laughing about it, and it worked.
I went to
I love Earthquake's voice.
It was-
I can picture him laughing and talking.
laughing at
I had a blast that week.
He got invited to the cookout.
one time
I still get a Christmas card.
I used to work for a company that was based in Philly, and I was going down there for training for 3 weeks. And I'm down there. I'm like, oh, let me see. You know, I'm in a training class of like 100 people, and they're like, oh, you do comedy? You should do comedy while we're down here. We're down here for 3 weeks. So I start calling around places. I call Helium. They're like, yeah, we don't know who you are. You know, whatever. So then I hear about this club, the Ice House. I'm like, oh, cool. I call up. They said, yeah, show up at 5 o'clock, you know, and you know, it's like the cattle call, people standing there with their notebooks and shit like that. And I stand in line, I get in, I go, look, I've got 100 people in my training class I can at least get 50 of them here. Okay. Come back at whatever time. So it's so funny because we walk into the club. Now, first of all, I walk in the club. I'd never seen the club before. It's on the side of Philly where the Liberty Bell is and stuff like that. So it's like downtown. It's more urban area. I had no idea. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be
In
at the
Philly.
Ice House tonight. I'm in Philly, right?
Ice House don't sound. I feel you. If I heard Ice House, I'd be like,
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
I
urban.
walked
that don't
in.
sound urban. No.
and it was it's an old club. It's been established. I look and they've got headshots all on the wall, and it literally was like a seating chart at a theater. All black comics and one white dot every once in a while. One white comic every fucking 10th or 11th picture.
The one seat that's taken.
Yeah,
All the rest are
exactly.
Ace was like, why you ain't got no white people on the
No,
wall?
I didn't even say.
Why you ain't got no white people on the wall?
No, I didn't say shit.
Why you ain't got no white people on the wall?
No, there were 3.
There ain't one white
No.
motherfucker.
Ain't no, you ain't
Wait, it gets better.
radio.
It gets better.
Trash can't do the ice.
So all the people in my class.
I don't think Ace knows what we're talking about.
I think it's great.
Do the
Wait.
right thing.
Oh, I'll do the right thing. All.
Why you ain't got no white people on the wall?
Oh, now I get it.
That's why me and Scott were laughing. We're like,
I'm like, oh shit.
why you got no white people on the wall? You just pasta.
I'm sitting here going, I ain't fucking opening my mouth and yelling that shit in that club.
We're not even talking about that.
No.
Oh shit.
So here's the problem. I bring 50 people that night to come to the show. Every one of them is white. They seat us, right? And they seat us on one side of the room. And as everyone's walking in, the other half of the crowd, all
Comes in.
black, they were already sitting there. And they're like staring at 50 white people walking into the Ice House, right? So now the guy puts me up, but he puts me up right before the headliner. It was like a showcase. And what was the kid's name? Tommy Too Smooth was the headliner, right? And every other comic was black except for me. So I get up on stage. They introduce me. There's a comic from New England. He's going to get up here. He's going to tell some jokes. He's going to make everyone laugh. It's going to be a fun time. I walk up, and my opening line was, this side of the room just figured out where the fuck this side of the room came from, and that opened it up. They had a blast. Everyone was having fun. We were all because you got to make fun of the situation.
You
know what I mean?
You always do.
When you acknowledge the elephant in the room,
Exactly.
it brings everybody in.
And everyone was together on it. You know.
I like
fun.
I said, race humor to me is one of my fun. I love it. If it's funny.
If it's funny,
If it's funny.
As long as it's not.
If it's funny.
If you're not making
If it's coming from a good place.
It's
Right.
funny.
You know what I mean?
If it's funny, I'm like, that's a good joke. But if it's, I'll be like,
Yeah. I think I
that
told the
again,
story
what?
before. But
as long as you're not making any one group uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's
just
funny.
make it funny.
make everybody uncomfortable.
I've told
Yeah,
you.
either make
Yes,
everybody-
Make everybody
exactly.
Either
uncomfortable.
make
Do
everybody uncomfortable or make everybody laugh.
But I've told
One
you
of the
the
two.
story.
I agree.
I've told you the story before too. I was playing at the Comedy Connection in Boston, and one of the doormen, this kid Chris, was a black guy. He was like the only black guy in the club, other than Patrice. When Patrice
one
started
of the
working
few
there,
in Boston.
yeah, no. So I come from
They're in
Rhode
Southie.
Island.
They was in Southie.
Yeah.
It was a Southie.
Well, so we're talking, and I fucking love Chris. I wish we didn't lose touch, but I don't even see him on like social media. But I'm like, as the night's going on, Chris goes, "Hey man," he goes, "You going back to Rhode Island tonight?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you mind dropping me off on the way?" And I go, "Yeah, where do you live?" He goes, "Dorchester." I go, "Yeah, I go right through Dorchester to get here." Right? He goes, so we're driving down, and he goes, "Hey man, you hungry?" I go, "Yeah, I'm hungry." He goes, "All right, get off here. Let's stop. We'll go to this diner." We go into this diner. I had never been to Dorchester in my life, let alone at 12:30 in the morning. We go into this diner. I am the only white person in the diner. And he looks at me, he goes,
better not order no clam
goes,
chowder.
"Yeah,
That's what
no,
you better not do.
no."
You better not order no clam chowder in here. I'll tell you that much.
He just looked at me. He goes, "This is your first time in Dorchester, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Dude, now I know how you feel when you walk into a place and you're the only black person in an entirely white place." I had never been in that situation where, because listen, I grew up in North Providence, you know? I mean, we had two black kids in our whole fucking school. Michael Turner and I can name him.
That's so wrong.
Michael Turner. The funny part is Michael Turner. He didn't say the other one because it's a real black name. He's like Michael Turner
and Kenny Robinson.
And Shabazz.
Malik Alabaz, Bass Boom Shaquay,
No, it was Kenny. It was
Jenkins Brown,
Brown.
and his sister LaQuisha Takwanisha.
It said more about me than him because I had been so insulated coming from North Providence where, you know, we didn't have a lot of black kids in our school. And so it was weird. You know, it was weird for me. I didn't feel like unsafe or anything. I just felt like, wow, it's
Italian
crazy.
over there. You still feel gangster.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Italian. I'm
No,
safe, but I'm a little gangster.
But like I said to Chris, I said, wow, it is weird. Now I know how you feel when you walk into a place and everyone is white. It's
man,
it's a weird feeling.
It's a weird feeling. It is a weird feeling a lot of times, especially even doing comedy.
But you guys probably go through it way more than we do.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I'm so used to it now. I'd be like,
of course.
hey.
Yeah.
And I grew up my hair like 3 years ago. So like this right here, I was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't smoke weed, yo.
right.
Don't do that. No.
No, you can't pay $5 to touch my hair. We're not in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
did you grow up in New England?
Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Providence,
from the
West
area.
End. Yeah.
West End of Providence?
West End
Okay.
of Providence. I grew up in a real rough area.
Oh, I know.
Rough.
When I was on the comedy bus and we went through the West End, I said, hey,
Everyone duck.
I did. That's exactly what I said. I go, hey, we're now moving off of Federal Hill to the neighborhood behind Federal Hill, so get under the fucking seats. And everyone laughed.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed. And then all of a sudden, the Spanish people started waving out the window. I go, of course you guys know people in this neighborhood. It was, but you know what? That's the thing. You got to point it out. You got to have fun with it. As long as it's coming from a place of love and it's not,
I
you
thought
know,
you were gonna say
it's not hate.
As long as it's not me.
No,
Yeah,
no.
as long as you don't make it fun of North Providence.
No, as long
We're good.
as long as
No.
it's not coming from a place of hate, and,
Well,
and there's a difference. You know what I
And
mean?
there's a difference.
And
definitely.
I think as comedians, we can talk about pretty much anything
Yep.
as long as we find the humor in it.
Yep.
And again, we're not alienating anybody.
Right.
And, uncomfortable is okay as long as we're not alienating people.
Exactly.
And really, really, truly coming at it from a hate perspective.
Exactly. That's it.
I just gotta have fun with it. Just gotta have fun
exactly.
with it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Gotta have fun
And
with it.
because I think, you think about Chris Rock's special from last weekend.
Oh man.
I think he really was doing a lot more social commentary than he did, comedy like he'd done in the past. But I thought he had some brilliant perspectives.
But how did you feel about his special? How did you feel about it?
I don't think it was his funniest special because I think he's had better comedy specials, but I found it very interesting from beginning to end.
There were definitely parts that I liked better than others. I love the stuff when he started talking about his daughter and entitlement.
Yes, I like that.
I love
like
that
the
because
Meghan
as a
Markle
dad,
stuff.
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle stuff was great.
Let's face it, though, it wasn't. And I'm not. Believe me, fucking Chris Rock doesn't need to hear my commentary on his special. But I don't.
Ace
it was-
Acito. Ace Acito.
I pray. I pray someday I have enough specials that people can say,
Yeah.
that one wasn't
No,
very good.
you know what it was? It's just that Meghan Markle thing. Like, how do I say it? It's an obvious joke.
Yeah.
It's the royal fucking family. They invented racism. Like no one else has said that.
No, but the part where he talked
But
about
it
how
was
brown
good.
the baby's going
Yeah.
to be.
Even black people, and that's
I love
true.
that. Oh my
That
God.
is true.
When he ever said, dude, you're checking behind the ears. I'm like,
That
oh my
was
God, that's crazy.
hilarious.
We actually do that.
Do you?
That was
That's not a
hilarious.
joke. That's
Yeah.
like it's a joke, but that part we do. We
Who
check
was-
the behind the ears and the fingertips.
And the fingertips.
And the
Well,
fingertips.
And who was it? So it was, you're either Steph Curry black or who's the other guy? The
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green black.
He goes, Draymond Green is like, hey, where's Draymond? Right here.
And when he-
Put a bell on it. Put a bell.
When he called back later.
Notice I didn't say the second part of what he said.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
I'm not. I
get you.
can't.
I get you.
know.
I get you.
You understand?
when he called back later to being single and sleeping on his bed, he goes, "What did Draymond Green sleep on?"
That was a good callback.
There was
That was
some
a
really
great
funny
callback.
stuff.
But I thought the end with the Will Smith stuff was great.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
but
great
of course
way to
he
wrap
wanted
it
to
up.
make that the end
Well,
because that's
from
what
a-
everyone
But
was waiting for.
From a comic standpoint, how I looked at the special, if I was him, I would have put the Will Smith stuff up front.
Yeah, really?
I would have put it up front.
What would you have ended with?
I would have ended. If I would have put
With the
it doesn't-
Meghan Markle
you
stuff?
could have ended with the Meghan.
Yeah,
you
I
could
thought that would have been a good ending.
It didn't. To be honest with you, it wouldn't have mattered what he ended with
Because
people are judging the stuff before. Because if you
Right.
hear people that go, "Oh, the last 15 minutes was good," it's because they didn't want to
It's
hear.
because they were waiting
Yeah,
for
they
that
didn't want to
stuff.
hear
Yeah.
none. Those jokes could have been flyer. He could have had them all on 10. Nobody cared. All they wanted to hear was the Will Smith.
What is his
I understand
rebuttal
that,
with
but
Phil Will Smith? Right.
I thought all those jokes before were good because I'm a comics comic. And
Right.
we're comedians, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
We're
man,
appreciating
Yeah, we're
how they were
appreciating. I was like,
written and-
man, he's hitting them. He's hitting them.
But the name of the special,
Selective outrage.
selective outrage, and the way he brought it to Will Smith having selective outrage with what he did.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good full circle way of bringing it around because he talked about it in the beginning, bringing it to Will Smith being that same person.
Right.
I thought it was well formed the way that he did
Shook
it.
Smith, you seen what
Yes.
he did to me?
That was Shook
I got
Smith.
summertime still ringing in my ear.
That's a great
Drums, please. I was like, oh snap.
line. Great lines. Great lines.
I thought I enjoyed it. Some people, they whatever. I'm like, yeah, because
think
you
about
looking at it, whatever. I'm like, I'm a comedian, so I'm like, I loved it because I knew exactly what he was doing.
Right.
I know the format he was going, and I know that the Will Smith was
see-
to give you the punchline, the ending
Right.
uppercut to knock
Right.
you out.
But see,
Exactly.
the
you
other
just wanted to get knocked out like Mike Tyson.
No, you know what it is? It's the other thing is people are so used to it takes a comic a year to usually build that hour. Like if Louis C.K. or Seinfeld is doing a new hour, takes him a year to work that out.
He spent a year doing this.
He did, but the problem is that shit, because you
It
had to
took so
wait a
long.
year to hear anything about something that happened a year ago.
It took away.
People didn't want to wait a year to
we
hear
live in a
about that.
microwave
You know what
society.
I mean?
We live in- they wanted to hear about it immediately.
So now what happened was the anticipation is built up that no matter what, it wasn't going to live up to what people's expectations were going
because
to be.
they just wanted to hear about the Will Smith stuff.
Right.
Like Marlon Wayans, he did a special, and most of it's about that whole situation.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
even what is it? Chappelle had. Didn't Chappelle do something about it?
He
and his
talked about it,
special?
but he
and then
talked
he had,
about it, but-
he had Chris. He had Will Smith.
Chris Rock.
He had Chris Rock come up on the stage with him. Wasn't there like some?
That wasn't in
concert?
his special. That was a concert they did.
It was a
in Los
concert they
Angeles.
did, and he talked about it, though. So I think because people were waiting to hear, because let's face it, that special was a rebuttal to the slap, but you had to wait a year for it, and people's expectations were too high.
Yeah, they was
But
way
I
too
thought
high.
from a comics point of view,
I thought he did great.
he did great. Absolutely.
Because we're comedians. I was like, I loved how, because I knew what he was doing.
Right.
So like, I was watching with somebody else, and they're like, man, I just wanted to get to the Will Smith stuff. I'm like, you don't appreciate
Well, what-
the art like me.
One
You
criticism.
don't appreciate it like me, dog.
One criticism I heard a lot was the abortion stuff that he did.
Oh, yeah.
They felt he went a little too far.
little
with
too
it.
far,
But when you talk about selective outrage,
Right.
it fit perfectly
Right.
with the theme.
If they
Yeah.
think
It
that
fit
was bad.
perfectly-
Right.
Well, because he said,
I know Corey Holcomb.
Wow, Corey Holcomb.
Corey Holcomb does a few abortion jokes. He did at the Shaquille O'Neal All-Star game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I don't do no abortion jokes. I don't touch none of that stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
don't go there. I'll touch some stuff, but that don't go there. He did some abortion jokes, and I was like,
Ooh.
I wasn't even like, I was mad because I was like, I can't do that because it was
Right.
so funny.
I couldn't get away with
And
it.
he
right.
killed it, and nobody said nothing. And he didn't even address it. He's like, "You're going to either feel this way about me." And his, I don't know if
Right.
you ever seen it.
No,
No,
I
I
never
haven't
saw
seen
it.
All right,
I know Corey
Google
Holcomb,
Corey
but-
Holcomb and Google Corey Holcomb,
All right.
Shaquille O'Neal All Star, and
And watch that set.
I don't even want to give it away, but
right.
but
it's good. You'll be
and
like,
it-
"What? Oh
and-
hell no! Oh,
anyway, for those of you that haven't checked out Chris Rock's special,
Yeah, we don't want to give it away.
check it out.
But we did.
I
we don't give it away.
Yeah,
Check
it's
it
all
out.
right.
I
That's
think
on
I
Netflix.
think it was well written.
I liked it,
It
yeah.
was well performed. Even the joke he fucked up.
Well,
Oh,
concussion.
yeah.
The concussion.
Well, because
Yeah.
he was kind. You can tell he was kind of. So what he
Because
did
it was
was
live.
Yeah, he
You know
said
what?
Live,
emancipation.
And
I
normally-
love that they
well,
showed that.
But see, here's the thing: what people don't realize. So people would go, "Oh, he was a professionally fucked up a joke." Yeah, but what you don't realize is most specials you don't see live. Most specials they tape it over a weekend, and you
They-
see all
do.
different things intercut
Right.
together.
And they cut
so
'em.
they would have
Right.
cut
Yeah, they
that,
edit and
that
all that
screw
stuff.
up, and he would have fixed it on one of the other shows, and you would have just seen the normal, regular way of telling that joke.
Yeah.
So, well, let me ask you this. Because we kind of went all over the place.
Sure, 'cause
but
we having fun.
I did, no, absolutely.
I love it.
But we always like to ask people about like high points in their career. Like, so what are some things that have happened in 11 years? There's got to be some times where
there's
you're
a lot of
like,
things. A lot of
holy
things.
shit, I can't believe I got to work with this person, or I can't believe I got to play this stage. I
Wow
always
moments.
wanted to. Like
Personal wow moments.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there's a lot of them. One of my wow moments was I was getting frustrated with the comedy politics. There's a lot of comedy politics. I'm not going to
Really?
Yeah.
I was getting frustrated, so I had went
Never
out.
noticed.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated because I'm a type of person. You know what I mean? Like I felt
I
like
just want to do my job.
I want to
don't
do my
wanna
thing,
play
and I felt like
politics.
I was like, I know this person or whatever. I had an ego. I was on some Kanye West ego type of stuff. But I was like, I feel like I'm this guy. I feel like I'm this dude, and you know what I mean. So I went out and I did the funniest comics of the East Coast contest, and it was 200 comedians registered to do it. It was all over, Connecticut and whatever. A whole bunch of us. And we ended up like the top 40, and I finished second. First place tied. My boy David Lozano and
Oh, yeah.
Justin Huff, I believe is last.
So, yeah, Hoff.
Justin Hoff.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Very funny comment.
They tied for first. I came in second. And that was like I was like 2 years in.
Wow.
So,
That's
I
awesome.
got to perform at Mohegan. I ended up getting shows at Twin River because of that. That was like my first taste when I felt like I was like, all right, I'm that dude.
Right.
And then after that, I kept winning some contests. I won Carol Lee's corner contest.
Yep.
It was like $500, but I got to meet Romero from 94.5
Yep.
and stuff like that. Like I just kept rolling, and I just started doing a lot of different shows. Like I started being in all the casinos. Like I was in Twin River, I was in
Yep.
Mohegan Sun, I was in Foxwoods, and like I started building up. That was a good moment for me. Another good moment was a couple years ago. I got to perform, open up for Michael Blackson. That was dope. I got to open up for him. I got to open up for a few different people.
Yep.
But one of my favorite things that I enjoyed about doing comedy was, I'll admit, like I said, I had some ego issues and certain stuff, or whatever. But like last year, about last year, I decided, I was like, because comedy politics, some people worry about getting booked or whatever.
Yep.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just do my thing with my culture. So I came up with a show called I Love Cachupa. Now, cachupa is a Cape Verdean cuisine. It's like our national dish. Cachupa is like spaghetti for Italians, for us.
Yeah.
So I came in with a I Love Cachupa show, and I just started off with it as a little idea, just something small, and I ended up turning into like a mini tour. It was like we did a show in Connecticut, we did a show in Boston, New Bedford, we did a show on East Providence, we did a show in Pawtucket, and two of them sold out. One of them almost sold out, and the other one, due to weather, was kind of like iffy, whatever. But I was so proud that I was able to do that. I just, you know what I mean? Like I got a team.
Because you were drawing a Cape Verdean audience?
I was drawing a Cape Verdean audience. But
yeah, it's your culture,
yeah,
right.
so on top of me drawing a Cape Verdean audience, I had other people that was coming to the shows, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just a nice cultural experience, and I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
Because like I booked some shows before in the past or whatever, but like that put a whole different motor behind me, and I just started dealing with my culture. So I did the I love Cachupa. Then I did a I Love Africa show. That show sold out. And then I dedicated pretty much my time into doing, because I was like, I'm doing for the culture, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna do something for the women. Because there's a lot of black female comics that don't get the praise. So I ended up doing a show called Black Girl Magic. So, and I had a whole bunch of them sell out. It was like I was getting some local people, some local black females, whatever, and we just have you can bring your own liquor, and my girl, she's a chef, so she would be cooking and whatever, and a bunch of them sold out, and I had like some females that are a little bit known or whatever, but they came out and they showed up, and it was, for me, it was cool to produce something that I wasn't even on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was cool to literally just sit back and watch the show. I was like Russell Simmons, you know what I mean?
Once the show, like you had a lot of prep work leading up to the show. But once the show was happening, you could actually enjoy the night.
Yeah. And what I appreciate about doing all that is because I had to learn all this stuff. Like, I didn't know about, Eventbrite and certain stuff, and I create my own flyers and stuff like that. So all the stuff that I did, like, I never really asked people. I'm one of those type of people. I'll do it on my own. I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
I'm gonna bump my head. I'm gonna stumble. But when I get it, I got it.
Right.
And like I said, that year from 2021 going into 2022, it was just one of those years for me that I was just like, I'm sick and tired of the comedy politics. I'm not going to be doing all this other stuff. I'm just going to mess with my culture. I'm going to just build, and I'm going to show my value. And once I did that, you know what I mean? Like, it seemed like all the work and the fights and the situations that I dealt with before I got to that, they just evaporated. Like it was like a moment of truth for me. And I was like, I get it. I get it now.
Because you concentrated on the positive and you grew this important side.
We've said it before. I don't know who originally started the quote, but it's like, don't worry about the people who won't book you. Worry about making the people who do book you happy, because you'll get more work, and book your own shows. Look, I was 30 years, well, probably 25 years in. I never wanted anything to do with booking because I thought it was just going to be a headache. And I didn't trust myself. I didn't feel as if I could book a show. And then I started realizing, like, wait a minute, how many of these fucking shows have I been on where they book me and Jim Loletta? Or me and someone else who...
Two impressionists.
Or two guitar acts. Like, I remember, you
got to battle it out for who's the best one.
Yeah, they'd book Rockin' Joe and DJ Hazard. Both guys play guitar. Like,
That's stupid.
I being a comic for as long as I have been, I could put together a great show, and I'm never going to put together people who are so similar that you're like, oh, it's like seeing the same person twice, right? So I started doing it, and then I started realizing, like, I don't care if so-and-so doesn't book me. Comedy's subjective. If you don't find me funny, that's fine. I know audiences find me funny, so I'll book my own shows.
That's exactly where I got
the freedom that comes from it, Anthony, is you all of a sudden you find like a theater or a room not far from another room that won't book you. There's freedom. Well, if you don't book me, why?
I'll book right next to you.
Why? Yeah, I'll book my show
book
right next to you. Not to be spiteful, but obviously there's a want for other types of comedy than what you're producing. If this other place is asking me to book it, so I have no qualms about booking it.
And what's amazing is when you book something that you're passionate about and you put your passion into it and you put together a great show, like you said, you took your culture and you put that into it and you build these great shows and they sell out. Then someone's going to come up to you and go, hey, I love what you did. Could you do that at my place?
That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
I did my first I Love Kachupa show, and I had somebody from Connecticut hit me up, and he goes, because I was taking pictures and stuff like that, and he was like, hey, matter of fact, his name is Jason Watts. I don't want to mess up with terrible with names. But he hit me up, and he goes, yo, I want to bring that out there. And mind you,
exactly
and I was telling him, I was like, listen, if you bring my show out there, you got to bring the cuisine, because I Love Kachupa. It's a whole experience,
right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a slap up comedy; it's a whole experience.
You know what it's like? It's like when we had Philip Boris on.
Philip does the same
and
thing.
he does laughing Latino comedy.
Anthony. Philip Anthony. When he said, I was like,
we know his real last name.
I know his real last
Evidently
name
now
too,
he's
but I was
Philip
like,
Anthony.
Philip
Sorry.
Anthony.
Shout out to Philip
And
Anthony.
He
When
does
Philip
his
does
Laughing
it-
Latino show with the Latino food and
so
he does the whole experience.
It's a whole
for the night.
experience, a
whole
cultural experience. And he said, and it loves it because it's bringing people together, both people who are part of that culture
and don't know
but
about
even
it.
people who are outside of the culture who don't know about it, that are like, oh, this is really cool. Like,
I had white friends. It was funny. I had my white friends come into my shows. I had a few other people, some Spanish friends or whatever, and they're like, because it's cachupa. But there's a lot of stuff within my culture that's a little crazy, whatever. But they're coming up to me, I love this chalupa, man. This chalupa, I don't know what it is,
Say
but
it right.
they're eating the bowls, and I'm like, go ahead, eat up.
These are great chalupas.
These chalupas is good.
You know what?
Keep going.
But you know what's funny? I
was dying. I was like, they're eating it because it's like a potluck, if you will.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there. I'm like, one of my friends, I love him to death. It's Alex. Like my girl, she's a chef, so and she's from Cape Verde. So she gave me the inspiration to do it too. Like, she was born there, like 20 years. She came here when she was 20 years old, so she gave me the inspiration. But she's a chef, like you know what I mean. She's a sous chef, and she knows what to do with a lot of stuff. So she's cooking it up and everything like that. My friend, Alice, he's like, I don't know what your girl put in this. This kid, he had 6 bowls. I was like, bruh.
But see, you know what it is? You get so ingrained in your own culture. Like, listen, I had spaghetti 4 fucking times a week because my dad was Italian, you know?
You're going to eat that spaghetti.
Exactly. Spaghetti and meatballs, spaghetti and
Chicken
beef.
palm, brother.
Yeah, chicken
You ever
palm.
have the chicken palm, brother?
But
Chicken palm.
hey, listen, I got 4 chicken palms left over. Take one, Ace.
You gotta grab
No,
one
but
of these.
what
Let
happens
me eat
is
meatballs
then
off your back, buddy.
you try something from a different culture and you get hooked. So like during the day I work for a medical company. So sometimes I come in and as part of my presentation I'll bring lunch. I found a place on Federal Hill called Pollo Campero.
I know where that's at.
Fucking
They got good food.
Awesome food. Their chicken is amazing, but they have fried plantains. You don't get fried plantains anywhere in Rhode Island. You can't just go to like Chili's and get fried plantains.
Now you can get fried plantains in Rhode Island.
Well, again,
Not at Chili's.
Listen
No,
how white.
not at Chili's.
Listen to how white I just sounded. You can't get it at Chili's. That's what I'm saying, bro.
That was your one example.
That was my example.
Feel like Chili's. I was like, no, I know. I don't even call them fried plantains.
Yeah, but
Let me get them plantanos. Let me get them plantanos. Let me get those tostones.
But there's not a lot of. But in other words, like chain restaurants and stuff,
No,
you're not going to
you're
get
not
it.
gonna
You
get
got to
it,
go to an ethnic restaurant. You got to go to a restaurant that like Pollo Campero,
Yeah.
not Polo Camparo. See, I didn't say it wrong. But I love bringing that now to offices. Like, all right, obviously, when I'm doing a lunch at like an office where there's a lot of Dominican Republic, Dominican folks, because they get plantains all the time.
Oh, they got sweet plantains, all type of plantains.
But I bring it to offices that have never had plantains. They're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Just have it.
You're gonna love it.
It's
You give them the sweet ones or the fried ones?
they are sweet, but they're fried too. Oh. So I said
because there's the green ones and there's like the brownish yellow ones.
Brownish yellow.
Oh, those are the sweet ones.
All right, but they're fried. They fry them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So, but I'm like, just try it. It's
You'll love
related
it.
to a banana, but it's not a banana. It just tastes really good. It's like a sweet potato, but it's not a sweet potato.
Trying to explain that,
Yeah,
like
it's so
I get
tough,
it.
right? It's
For
a
me,
cross
trying to
between-
explain Cape Verdean to people, they're like,
Right.
I'm like, it's 10 islands off the coast of West Africa.
It's not a chalupa.
Yeah, it's not. You know what I mean? And it's like, so, are you
cachupa.
African? Yeah, we're
Yeah.
African, but
Yeah.
we're kind of mixed.
But
What do you
it's-
mean?
yeah.
It's like I don't even want to go there. I'd be like, just enough.
Right.
enough.
Well, it's like Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Right? Similar.
Yeah.
Islands off of Africa, but you're not like,
No,
it's
well,
not like
they're islands off of those are the,
South
like,
America, right?
Yeah,
I fucked it up.
Yeah, he fucked
I know.
that shit up. I was like, oh shit.
Never mind. He's like, how do I break it to him? He just turned the white on.
Notice the white guy trying
Yeah.
to relate over
I
here.
No,
know.
but I got it. I understand what he was saying.
You know what
get
I
it.
meant.
get
You know
it.
what I meant.
I feel you, dog. I feel you.
Shut up, fucking Connecticut boy.
Hey, I'm not the one that
You're
said
in the
it.
middle of the. Yeah, no, you know what I meant.
Now, but I will say, bringing the culture
Exactly.
was a fun thing to do, and like I book shows I booked shows in the beginning, and then I was waiting to get booked for a little while, and like I said, me being frustrated, and I was trying to figure out where my career went, but after I got to a certain point, I just said, this is what I'm going to do.
I'm just gonna do my thing.
I'm going to do my thing
Yeah.
or whatever, and I took the ego away, and I just became neutral. And once I became neutral, it was like and the funny part is
Everything falls into place.
well, so it wasn't even falling into place. I just put blinders on.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, when I deal with my shows, I start with the flyer. I start with whatever venue. Like I'm hands on through the whole
Exactly.
process.
Right.
So I don't have time to be focusing on whatever.
Whatever someone else is doing or saying.
Yeah, and
right.
I put those blinders on. While I'm putting those blinders on, I'm building and doing certain stuff. Everybody around me was noticing me, and they're like, "Yo, like
What's
I
he
had
doing?
people come up to me that I haven't seen in a while, and they're like, "Yo, we love what you do. Yo, you've been doing
Yeah.
this and that. You booking shows, and because Instagram, Facebook, and all that other stuff.
Yep.
I was literally booking my own shows, getting booked, because once you book your own shows, people start to see you. They start to see your face on a flyer a
Right,
lot.
right.
They start to ask questions. So now I'm booking certain shows and I'm getting booked. And the momentum just kept building to the point where I got to a whole nother level.
Yep.
And I'm at it right now.
Right.
And now
Awesome.
it's the same thing. I'm like, all right, back to the lab, back to the drawing board.
Right.
How do I step it up? And
Another notch.
and
right.
it's been a great experience for me. Once I'll be honest with you. Once I got rid of the ego,
Well,
and I focused.
you
But
kind of
it's
have to
tough.
do that because, especially,
Comics
and-
are insecure people.
and
We're
comedy
just
is very
insecure.
clicky.
And it's
Man,
clicky.
comedy is clicky.
Right.
It's very clicky, and if you're not in this clique or that clique, you're not going to work in certain areas. So you basically carved your own path,
Right.
By taking your passion and saying, "I'm going to forge my own way." And people notice that
Right.
okay, he's not trying to fit in here, or fit in there. He's just doing his own thing,
Building
Right.
their own
so
thing.
Yeah.
you made them take notice,
Yeah.
and that made the difference.
But see, that's the mistake a lot of us make, and it's human nature. You see,
Absol- yeah.
you see someone get some gig that you're like, oh, what the fuck? Why is that guy getting that gig? I want.
I did that with
gig.
your show.
Yeah.
I did that with your show. I was like, what? Who you booked?
Yeah.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
I did. This was a while back because I'm be honest. I didn't know you, but like,
Yeah.
I did. I'm gonna be honest. I used to do that with everybody's show. I
Right.
did it with
We
your
all
shows.
do.
I would sit
Yeah.
there and be like, yeah, you look at the
Human
flyers.
nature.
I'd be like, he didn't hit me up.
Right, yeah.
I did that with everybody's shows.
and
But
to,
then you
and
said-
that
to be
ego
hon-
used to bother me. I used to be like,
Yeah.
y'all don't know who about me.
and
Right,
you know,
right.
And then, like,
And
when
the
I
flip-
stopped doing that, that's when I was like,
and the
Right.
flip
What
side
what are
of
you
that,
doing, Ant?
Right.
flip side of that, Ant, is that people will reach out to me and they'll be like, "Hey, keep me in mind for a show," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'd love to book that guy." And it's not that I don't book.
Sometimes
people.
you forget.
I forget about
Yeah.
people.
Sometimes
I
you
do.
forget.
Most of the time, it's the more recent people that I've talked to or remember,
And then
that I end up getting.
and that's
booked.
and that's the thing. It's I don't think, I mean, there are definitely a few clicks that are clicks for a reason, but a lot of clicks just happen because you just start working with the same people.
Yeah.
And let's face
You
it,
start knowing.
we've talked about this too. I don't care how funny you are, you don't show up on time.
Oh.
And if you're not easy to work with, I'll never fucking book you again. I'll take a mediocre comic who is reliable, does a good job,
Yep.
doesn't light the room on fire, but does a solid job. I'm not going to book them if they're not
I get what
funny.
you're saying.
But if they show up on time
Yeah.
and they're not a dick to work with, there are plenty of funny people that I do not book because it's a pain in the ass.
pain in
I
the
don't know
ass.
if they're going to show up on time. I don't know. I don't want to deal with that.
We
when
had
you're
the-
booking the show, especially, you've probably seen
I've
it,
already
right?
I've already experienced some situations or whatever, and I'm pretty close with Dale. You know what I mean? Like Dale's one of my people. Who, like he's like the brother.
Yep.
Like we had. There's been times when we've been great together.
Yeah.
There was even times when we was mad at each other.
Yep.
There was times when I was like, oh, I'm gonna get your ass.
Yeah, right.
Like we've been friends. We've been mad at each other. We turned into enemies. We turned back together. Whatever.
Right.
So me and him can have conversations about things because we understand. There's been
Right.
times where he taught me some lessons that I didn't want to learn.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like one time I'll have to give Dale. You ain't shit for this, but this is my boy though. One
Yeah.
time, Dale, he's good with cameras and stuff like that. I was like, oh, record my set. He didn't record my set. And one time we got into an argument. He was like, yo, what am I supposed to be recording for you? You kind of do your own stuff or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I didn't realize what he was saying. It's like basically like, yo, I'm not your, I'm your
not your
brother's
bitch.
keeper, but I'm not your bitch. I'm not gonna be
Right.
doing stuff for you. You got to start doing your own little shit or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
So me and him, we had conversations and certain stuff, and I would, I'm not gonna lie, because he does his thing. He books certain stuff, and I would be questioning, and I'd be like, you look at it, because I pay attention to everything. When I
Yeah.
mean, I know everybody's shows. I might
Right.
not know who you are, but I'm any little show that got a fly. I'm like, who's this? What's that? What's
Right.
that? And I'd be like, why did you book like that? Why did you start doing this? And this was before. Now that I started doing,
Now you start understanding
yeah, so
it.
and I had a conversation with him, and I was like, Dale, I see why you do what you do,
Yep.
because professionalism is so
It's so
important.
much more
Coming in
important.
on time, like I like to have things done a certain way, like. With the urban, this is gonna sound messed up. I don't care. With the urban room, you can be a little late. Black people are known for being a little late. Black people are known for being late.
No.
There's CP time, and we're known for being a little late. And you know what I mean? And that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it comes to a point
But
in time.
not every room is like that, and
well,
not every
I-
show is like that. Right?
I don't do that. One of my pet peeves is like, I like to be there early because I want to see I could headline. I've been plenty of times I've headlined shows, and I'm there. I'm like one of the first ones there.
Oh, yeah.
because I want to see the room. I need to investigate because I have certain things that I do, and I have certain things how I prepare. So like I like to see certain stuff. Whatever. So
Yep.
I love to be there on time. If I'm going to be late, I'm hitting you up.
Exactly.
Scott, hey, listen, man, I got pulled over. Or
Exactly.
Scott, man, my tire came off
We-
my
That
car.
shit
Whatever.
happens.
We
and that's
talked
fine.
about it a couple of weeks ago,
That's fine.
and not to rehash, but Frank O'Donnell was one of the two guys that started comedy in Rhode Island. Frank O'Donnell and Charlie Hall were the first two guys to start booking comedy years and years ago, and I'll never forget. Frank O'Donnell told me, doesn't matter what position you're on in the show, you always show up a half hour before showtime.
Half hour.
Because nothing freaks a booker out more, and I've experienced it, than not knowing that not all three comics are there when the show is about to start.
Yeah,
And
because
that
now
is
you're
the
trying
worst.
to. Now you're like you can't.
And we talked
You
about
can't
it.
grab somebody. Some
No.
comics go to shows or whatever.
Sometimes, yeah.
But sometimes you might not have a comic that goes
But
to your
there's-
show.
There's a very funny comic who's a headliner that one time was supposed to be there to open. This was when he was new, and he was supposed to open and didn't show up until after the feature went on.
Yep.
And wanted the club to put him up before me. And
your
they were
little
like,
ass down.
nope, sit in the back and you fucking wait. You're not going up on stage tonight. If you wanted to go up on stage,
You would've been
your
here.
spot was at the beginning. That's the spot you were hired for. You didn't show up for that spot, so you're not getting paid and you're not getting on stage.
Like I said,
You know?
I've like now that I'm in a, I call it I'm in a different frequency now. Like, you know what I mean? Like before I went through my I call it my ego thing, and I went to the, I need to get booked or whatever. And now that I'm to this point now, like there's certain things, like how you said, being professional, being on time. I know there's some comics that won't promote shows.
Yeah.
You're on the flyer. You're on the flyer.
Right.
I'm not booking the show.
I'm promoting you. Why aren't you promoting my
you.
show? Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, you booked me. It's your thing. Like, listen.
You're promoting yourself.
You're promoting yourself. Like,
Yeah.
You're not going to share the flyer?
Like the only time I'm not promoting myself is for like a Funny for Fun show because it's about the organization.
Yeah, that's different.
But if I'm on a Parada show, I'm letting people know. If I'm on a Royal Flush show, I'm letting people know. If I'm on one of his shows,
I know you booked yourself because I was setting up. That's how I was like, I hit you up. I was like, Ace, I don't mean to be a jerk. That's for me being professional. I was like, I just saw it in my mind. I was like, let me check everything to make sure.
Did I mess up?
I was like, did I mess up? Did we both book? I was like,
right. And I was like, no,
now.
I'm down the street. You're up at the comedy park. I'm at the Pub-On Park. Totally different.
And that's, professional. I tell people all the time, be professional. Like, I have a ritual that I've been doing for the last, it's my ritual. Everybody knows this is what I do. Some people think, oh, he's just being ignorant or whatever the case may be. I wear my headphones. Mm-hmm. I come in, I wear my headphones.
You just kind of sit
wear my
headphones.
I pick a song. At one point in time, it was like, like 3 songs. I put that one song, I put it on repeat. Mm-hmm. Because it clears my mind out because whatever.
Yeah.
I pay attention to whatever because in my mind, I have a job to do. I want to make the people laugh. Right. I don't want to be the comic that's talking crap about other comics and then being all in the crowd and all this other stuff. I sit in my little corner, I give me a little Hennessy and or my Kuze, I take my little shot, I drink or whatever. I ask if I can set up my merchandise, if it's cool, whatever. And I focus in. I'm paying attention to my set. I got one headphone in. I'm paying attention to whoever's before me, how the show's going. I get in, I do what I got to do because in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be the comic that causes problems, that's talking too much, that's creating the problem, or whatever the case may be. I want to enjoy myself. I want you to enjoy myself. I want to add value to your show. I want to make sure you look at me and go, you know what? That's a good guy.
Because
I want to bring him back out.
Again.
You know what I mean? I want to bring him back out.
Yeah.
I want to, you know what I mean? I want to work with that guy, whatever. So, and some people, you being rude or you being arrogant, you don't talk to the other comic. What do I need to talk to you for? We're both here to do a job.
Exactly.
Talk to me after.
Yeah.
Right.
When we get done, we can have a conversation, whatever. But why are you talking? Ace is up, Scott is up. Shut your mouth. We don't need to be talking right now.
But everyone's different. Like I would have nervous energy before a show earlier on, and I would talk to people. But I respected the fact, we've talked about the time me and Bill Burr were doing an open mic up at the Boston Comedy
showing his true
connection.
age.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr
was the new young guy
on an open mic. Oh yeah,
when he said open mic, I was like,
on an open mic.
Oh,
Bill Burr was on an open mic with me. Yeah, but I was talking and he was like, "Hey man, I don't want to be a dick. I'm just trying to go over some new stuff in my head. I just got to focus." I go, "No problem, man. No problem." I actually felt bad because I'm like, oh, shit. He's like trying to prepare some new stuff. And I'm just, but everyone's different. You got to respect everyone's process.
Respect everyone's process. And that's what I try to do. Respect everyone's process. Respect everyone's process.
I'm okay until the comic before I go on is on.
Yeah,
then I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, because I want to see how the crowd is responding to them.
In that time he's on, I'm the same way. I'm gauging the crowd. I'm focused on what I'm going to start with.
I hope you don't fuck up because I don't want to use 5 minutes to fix what the fuck
right?
you did.
Exactly.
And get ready to go. But, I like kind of where we were at with this, with the positivity. And I like that, like you said, ego in check and all this good energy. So let's
drag it down is what you're saying.
I knew you was gonna go there.
Let's flip flop that shit right around real quick. And our favorite question, because we all have these war stories, is the funny bad gig story. And it's not so funny when it's happening. It's one of those stories that go, you know what? Maybe I'll be a chef along with my girl.
Yeah, right. Maybe she needs a sous chef.
Yeah, maybe she needs a sous chef to her sous chef.
Yeah.
Because this comedy thing really isn't working out because of what just happened. But a couple weeks after that, some guys are sitting around the green room, or after the show when you're talking with the comics, they're like, you should see the shit gig I did last week. And you're like, oh, yeah? Listen to this.
I got a good one for you.
All right.
I got a good one. Actually, I'm going to give you 2.
All right, please.
I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to give you the first one. May 2013, 1 year in.
See, we got the date.
May 2013.
Sounds like Captain
Memorial
Snog.
Day. Memorial Day.
It was a late rainy afternoon.
Yes.
I got it. Memorial Day weekend. I book it. Now, mind you, 1 year in, I wanted to achieve things so bad.
Yeah.
Of course.
My first year,
Of course.
nobody let me host. I wanted to host. I'm like, I'm sick of it doing these guest spots and these bringers. I'm sick of that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you won't let me host? I do my own thing. I host my own show. So I booked this show, Memorial Day weekend. Me and a friend, whatever. We didn't know what the hell we was doing. We should have never booked it. Should have never booked it. Should have never booked it. But she was cool with the Haitian community, whatever. I know a lot about the Haitian community. I love Haitian food and stuff like that. So we booked this comic. His name is Haitian Jonas. And we wasn't even smart enough to go, all right, we'll book the headliner and we'll get locals. We just talked to them and was like, we'll just book the headliner, the feature, and I'm gonna host it. I wanted to host that bad.
That bad that you didn't even care about any
bad.
other
I didn't
part of
care
it.
about nothing. The budget was crazy. It could have been better, but my goal was I wanted to host it. I didn't care. I was like, we're gonna sell it out. I ended up paying a lot. You know how you break even?
Well,
Nah, I didn't break even.
No,
I
you pulled money out your pocket.
Oh, I pulled like $300 or $400.
Yeah.
And then she had to pull like $200 or $300.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So we're doing this show, mind you, it's Haitian. They're Haitian. There's Haitian Jonas. They got a Haitian DJ. I'm hosting. I'm doing my thing. I'm up there, and the DJ is messing up. When I mean he's messing up, like because it's the urban shows. With urban shows, we got the DJ. You play that music in
Scratching
between.
and shit,
Hey,
right.
hey man, you be mad with the DJ. Hey, this was the song I want to come up on.
Right.
We're on it like that.
Yeah.
So the DJ's going up and he's skipping and things are skipping. He kept skipping and I was getting upset. So me being me, I was like, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna host or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a joke. I'm gonna do a hurricane joke. 1 year in. 1 year in. May Memorial Day. May. So I go up there. He's
Haitians
skipping.
love hurricane jokes.
Check this out. So I go up there. I'm like, yo, ever since the hurricane, y'all been messing up. Look, he got Tourette's. He's skipping and whatever. I said that. Oh, God. The crowd, they went from laughing to
Yeah, they wanted to kill you.
Kill
Holy
me.
Shit.
Mr. Kuze
That's not even-
was Mr. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's not even the bad part. So I go outside to smoke a cigarette after because I was like, I messed up bad.
I don't even smoke, but I smoked that.
I smoke, but so I go outside and 3 or 4 Haitian dudes, they come to me. And so I cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But they put their arm around me, bring me next to the car, and they got that Haitian accent and whatever. And they said, listen, don't do that joke.
Yeah.
You see machete? It showed me a machete.
They pulled a machete.
They pulled the machete out the car. He goes,
This ain't for cutting sugar cane.
nah. He looked at me. He looked at me and
This
he goes,
is for cutting kuze.
yeah. And he was like, if you didn't clean it up, we was gonna fuck you up.
Holy shit.
Because that's disrespectful. You don't disrespect Haiti like that. He had a Haitian flag on his car, the Haitian,
right.
like he was from Haiti.
Yeah, right.
And he was like, you lucky we like, Haitian Jonas and we think, it's a joke, but don't you ever with that Haitian, ever. You don't talk about Haiti like that. I'll kill you. He had it and he's tapping me with it.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, okay. So I go back up, I bring, the last comic up or whatever, and I was like, I'm thinking maybe
Just gonna stay inside. I'm gonna quit smoking tonight.
So I go back and I talk to the guy. I was like, was you serious? Are you trying to scare me? Because I'm thinking,
Yeah, right.
I know
Yeah,
you're
fucking with me,
I was like,
right?
you're fucking.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
No.
We talked about it. You disrespect my country.
Yeah.
We wanted to kill you, but out of respect, we was gonna mess you up, but we didn't. And I was just like, okay.
Holy shit.
He was like, you see that machete? We
That's
was
a
gonna
real
beat
death
you up
threat.
and put it next to you, let you know don't do it again. He was like, we was gonna mess you up.
Wow.
I don't know, maybe the grace of God or whatever, but
Yeah.
I got saved because
You're
that
like-
was
all of a sudden they're
Message
pulling a Captain Phillips on. Look at me. I'm the captain.
that's how it felt. It felt like that.
I'm the comic
Guys
now.
literally get a guy's like 80 pounds and you're fucking scared.
No,
'cause
these
he's got a
dudes were
machete.
big now.
Oh, they were big dudes.
They're
Yeah.
they're Zopound gorilla dudes. I'm
right.
6 foot, 230.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
This dude's
7 feet.
6'5",
Yeah.
6'4",
300
with beards and
Yeah.
dreads.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like this. The Haitian, he's like this black. It's like black. You know what I mean? I'm 2% milk compared. That's the
what's his
real
name?
black.
He's like Knight.
He's
like Knight.
What is it, DeMar? What's his name? Let's do a callback.
Draymond
He's Draymond Green Black.
No, Draymond looked like Steph Curry compared to these dudes, yo.
That's awesome.
These dudes was like serious, and I was like, oh snap! Like they smelled like weed and stuff. Like it was,
Yeah.
they was real gangsters, and I was like, oh,
I'm
shit.
the comic now.
I'm the comic.
I'm the
look
comic
at me.
now. Look
Yeah.
at me.
Oh my
Look at me.
God.
So I got my life threatened. I had to pay out money. All because I wanted to host. I said, Anthony, it was not worth it.
And this is when they say, when it's the right time, it's the right time, and that was not the right time.
It wasn't the right time.
Yeah,
and I
it
was
was
like,
too
oh
early.
man. And my
so
second
funny.
story, it hurt my heart. This one hurt my heart.
my heart.
It hurt my heart.
I know.
These
the other
two,
one almost hurt his neck.
No, the other one was more violence. This one has to do with like comedy. So Jonathan Gates again. Now Jonathan Gates runs the Black Comedy Explosion.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday. He got like black national known acts come through there. Not no bullshit. Like some real deal. Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
Big people come to see him. Like he's that dude. You know what I mean? In the urban, he's that guy. You know what I mean? He's been on BET Comic View, Martin Lawrence and stuff. He's well known. So the first time I go up there, I'm out there with Sam J. She's hosting.
Yep.
Whatever. I do my first little thing. I'm like, all right, cool. It was a great experience, whatever. So, you know, it was some year, and that was my first year again. This was before the Haitian thing happened. So then I go back out now. You know, this was 2013-ish or whatever. So now I go back out around 2017, 2018. You know what I mean? I got some credentials behind me. I've been doing it for a while. I'm that dude now. My confidence level's sky high.
A little cocky.
Cocky? What? I'm like,
I ain't cocky. I got that.
I'm like, no, you can't. I felt like 50 Cent in 2003. Many men wish death upon me.
I felt like Queen Elizabeth. Okay.
Like I was that guy.
Yeah.
I felt untouchable. Nobody could mess with me.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm doing Jonathan Gates room. I was like, the first time I did it, I was a baby and I did all right.
Right.
Watch me now.
Yeah.
He's lucky to have me.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm like, and it got me featuring in my mind because I had the ego. I should be headlining. That's what I should be doing. Got me
Right.
on that feature shit.
I've been doing this 5 years.
Let's keep piling up the blocks of failure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So I'm in my bag, whatever. I got my headphones in.
Yep.
I'm in the zone. I'm listening, whatever. The headline, the host comes out. His name is Neil, I believe. I'm trying to remember. Neil comes out, and you know Jonathan Gates. He pretty much Jonathan Gates' room is so crazy. Jonathan Gates will kill a room, and at the end of that show, he does a prayer.
Really?
He does. He brings everybody
Right.
to the stage, and there's always somebody
Prayer
who got
circle.
shot or somebody
yeah.
who needs some funds. When he does a prayer, the room is crazy. It's well known. So I go up in there. I'm featuring. I'm ready. So I hear the host. He's bombing. But I'm like,
I got this.
I'm like,
I'm
you
gonna clean
bombed.
this up. I'm gonna
Not
clean
me,
this up.
my dude.
Yeah, right.
I'm that guy.
Oh, you're bombing?
Yeah.
When I hosted, I didn't bomb.
I ain't host it yet, but I'm like, whatever. So, you know, Jonathan, I have an African joke that I do. Jonathan Gates turns around and but right before he brings up, he does African jokes. So now I got to cancel my African joke up. But then I was like, it's just like how you said when you bring certain stuff. I was like, I ain't canceling my African joke. I'll keep my African joke.
My joke's better than his.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Ace, I swear on my mom, I said that in my head. I was like, yo, my joke better than his. My shit way better. Not realizing that they already did it. So you leave it alone.
Yeah, right.
I went up there and I'm featuring. So
Yeah.
I got at least, Boston
20
featuring.
minutes.
I got a 15 to 25 minutes easy.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. I'm like, what? I go up there. There's a black audience. There's black girls in the thing.
My people.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, so I start messing with the girls. I'm like, yo, everybody in there smell like cocoa butter and this and that. Smell like cocoa butter and lustrous pink moisturizer stuff to the ladies. And the
man.
ladies are just looking at me like,
I'm using that line next time I do an urban show.
lustrous pink moisturizer,
No,
cocoa
urban
butter, really?
cocoa butter. No, I'm
Where the
kidding.
jokes?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I'm doing my thing. I'm thinking I'm doing my thing. I'm not getting nowhere.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I'm like 8-9 minutes in, and Jonathan just looks at me and goes,
Yeah.
he goes like this. He goes like this.
Cut sign.
I get off stage, me and the host bomb, whatever. Jonathan Gates gets so mad. He's telling you these comics came up and this and this. Like it felt like he was trying to like
yells at the
defend
crowd.
our honor.
Yeah, yeah.
But
These
no.
motherfuckers are funny. You fucking
Yeah, he's doing all that
assholes.
shit, right? So I go outside, and the headliner, his name is I'm terrible with names. He's a known guy.
Yeah.
So he's smoking a cigar. He's outside. So I'm about to smoke a cigarette because I fucked up.
Yeah, right.
So he looks at me, he's smoking a cigar, and he's a big dude. He got a beard and everything. He's smoking a cigar. He looked like a skinny Suge Knight.
I was just gonna say, he looked like Suge Knight,
He
didn't
looked like he had a hat and shit. He's smoking a cigar, and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing out here?" Like he's like,
He
because
knew
I'm
you were
8
supposed
minutes.
to
Yeah,
see-
like he's timing. He's like, I'm smoking my cigar. I was
yeah,
like,
you were supposed to still be
yeah,
out
like
there.
he's supposed. So he looks at me. He goes, "Ah, damn it, you youngins!" But now you got to pull a cigar out.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now, mind you,
You
right?
youngins.
Me being cocky, whatever. I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Yo, man, I'm telling you, the
This
crowd is
crowd
crazy.
sucks.
This crowd is on
Yeah.
that bullshit,
Yeah.
man. Yo, the host bombed this. I'm telling you, right?"
He goes up and destroys the room.
Yo, he's talking about toenails, all type of crazy shit. The crowd is going crazy.
They loved him.
They loved him. I just sat there and was like, "What?"
You immediately wrote 5 minutes on toenails.
Not even. I didn't even do that.
On the Clippers.
On the Clippers, yeah.
My girl was with me at the time. Well, she's my ex now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So it's in Boston. I live in Providence. It's a 45-minute ride.
Oh, yeah. It's
Now normally I got my aux cord and I got the music playing. I'm doing whatever.
Right.
I want to get home. I'm doing like 70, 80.
Your tail's between your legs.
I was in the
whole way home.
breakdown lane.
Yep.
No music. Doing 45. When I mean I wanted to feel that, she's like, because she's Cape Verdean, she was Cape Verdean, so
Yeah.
she had accent. She's like, "Why do you drive slow with the?" I was like, "Shut up." I told her in Creole, I was like, "Color buck, I don't want to hear nothing. Color,
Yeah.
be quiet." And she was like, "Oh, all right." And I'm just sitting there driving, like, "No, I got the music on. I got the window down."
You wanted to savor the
I
miserableness.
Oh, I
yeah. I want to
feel the
feel
pain.
it.
I want to feel that.
Because I never want to feel it again.
Yeah, I was
Right?
I didn't do Jonathan Gates' room like no. I'm like, you can hit up Jonathan Gates' room. I didn't hit up. I was scared of it. And I became scared of the room.
Right.
So I go back up there now. One of my comic friends that I was doing there, he's doing his thing or whatever. He's like, "Yo, come see me." I go out there and see him, and Jonathan goes, "You want to host?" Not even prepared, or whatever. But luckily, the Celtics ended up playing, so we had it, whatever. So I do 3 minutes.
Yep.
He was like, "Go and do 3 minutes." So I do 3 minutes, and he booked me again to come
nice.
back on. It feels like I redeemed myself.
You redeemed yourself.
But
You
I'll
needed
be
that,
honest with
though.
you. It was because the reason why I redeemed myself was that 45-minute drive
Driving
going
the
45
breakdown lane.
miles per
Right.
hour.
Because you
letting that
never
hear me.
wanted you never wanted to feel that way again because you made it even more painful than
and
it
I
normally
guarantee-
I
would
made
have
it
been.
painful. It was like
Right.
a Drake song.
Yeah.
It was like a Drake song. Like I was, you better find your jokes. You better find your heart. You better find your jokes. You better find your heart.
Where's Davey Lozano when you need him?
Oh my God! No
Look,
shit.
I
know.
felt it.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what that experience did for me. It cracked the ego that I had.
yeah.
And slowly
Sometimes
but surely,
you need that.
I shedded it. And now I'm to the point where I'm like, I look back
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so grateful for that moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if I didn't have that moment, I'll be up here saying some ridiculous stuff to
well,
you.
because now you
need
realize
those to bring you back down to ground.
exactly because you realize I don't care who you are. Everyone has bad sets, and that's one of the reasons why we asked that question about the funny bad gig story, because we've had national headliners on who are like, "Oh my God, I'll tell you this," and it's like, wait a minute. You
had a bad
shitty-
set?
and they have. Everyone has, and it's not always when they're brand new.
No, we had Eddie Brill on. Eddie Brill has been touring the country, the world for
He's
years.
the warm-up act for David Letterman
He was a
for
warm-up
15
Oh, my
years.
warm-up
Goodness.
act
Right?
for Letterman and booked
And the
all
booker.
of the comedians for the Letterman show.
oh, so
Okay?
that dude, he's
Oh,
He's
yeah.
legit.
That's top tier.
He's
Yeah.
legit. And we asked that question, and he goes, "Oh my God!"
I
which-
got which one do I do?
He goes, "We need to book another hour if we're going to tell these stories."
yeah.
And
that's-
and he was just so humble about it and everything like that. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care how long you've been doing this. We all have those moments where it just, that wasn't the night. It wasn't it.
Right.
And it brings you back down. And I talk about this with Ace all the time. The comedy gods, we all get that run where we could read out of the phone book and we're just
And it goes great.
destroying every room we're in. And it gets to you after a little bit where you feel like you could do no wrong. And that one moment comes along that brings you right
back down.
to remind
need
you
it.
that, okay,
I'll be
buddy.
honest with you. Mine's, I look back and like I said, the Haitian one was like, Anthony, the Haitian one taught me, you don't decide when you do something. Your work ethic, how you prepare and what people see, bookers and stuff. You don't determine when you do something. That's why it failed, because you felt like you could do something. And that the Slades, the comedy, the black with
The
Jonathan,
explosion, yeah.
That one taught me, Anthony, your ego, you need to let it go, because if not, you're going to drown in it. And I felt like I said, now I'm to a point where, man, people before I, people hit me up and they're like, yo, can you put me on this show? Can you book me on that show? You know what I mean? And I, I'm to a point now, my inbox is on fire.
Yeah.
And I love it. But at the same time, I try to be like, I'm like, hey, listen, when I'm putting a show together, I know you hit me in the inbox and I didn't forget you. But you got to understand that each show that I put on, it's like
I'm trying to put on the best show. And that's why.
And they don't understand that sometimes.
And that's why you have to have, you're also looking at it as I'm building a show of variety.
Right.
Variety,
And maybe
yes.
you're fitting in here, but I've already got someone in that spot.
There's a
But
rhyme
you don't
and reason
fit
to
in
who
other
you
places.
put on with whom.
Exactly.
In the show.
Well, I think some people, I've seen people go, well, boy, girl.
No.
You know what I mean? I seen some people just be like, oh, this is my boy and this and that. Like, now I'm to a point where, like, I'm like, all right, I'm at the Comedy Park and I book bi-weekly there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, so I got this guy. All right, who do I put him with? All right, do I put now I can't put them there because I want the show to build up. Like,
Yes.
it's like,
Yes.
it's like I'm playing chess with myself. I'm like,
Yes.
all right, if I do that
Exactly.
move, then this comic, all right, but I'm like,
Dude,
and trying to
that's-
figure it out, and then I'm booked, so I'm sorry. Then you got to find, because I
We
start with
both-
the headliner first.
Yep.
Yeah.
You book the headliner first, and
And then you build from down.
We
Then who
run in,
compliments
who
them?
compliments
Yes.
them. We run into that. Him with his all-star show, me with the Royal Flush. It's the same exact thing. My first thing is to book the King and the Queen, because the King and the Queen are both headliners. And then I'm looking at, okay, who's the Joker? Who's a really high energy, really, all they got to do is 10 minutes. That's it. And then the Jack only does 5 to 7. So the Jack is the spot that's the newer comic. But I can't just have anyone on.
Anyone.
It has to be someone that's going to fit the right, the right thing.
Because they're gonna set the tone.
Exactly.
And some people, they don't understand that. They get mad with you. Oh, why you ain't booking me? Why you ain't booking me? And it's like, not that I don't want to book you. It's just what I have right now, you don't fit right now.
Right.
So I didn't forget you. It's like, I got you right there, but you're marinating in juices. Let me build certain stuff up, because certain things go with
Right.
certain stuff.
But you start to understand after a while why some bookers become
Complacent.
assholes, for lack of a better
yeah,
term, because they have all these people coming at them all the time, like, book me. And you're like,
But
like you
again-
just said, I haven't forgotten about you, but if you keep booking me, you're going to get on my nerves.
Right.
and
Yeah.
But
I'm not going to book you.
But the other thing is, you also fall into a trap when you're booking. You want to book people who you like, who show up on time and do a good job.
Yes.
If they're easy to work with,
Let the church
you
say
start-
amen. Say it
Right.
again. Hey,
Yeah.
say it again.
Amen. But that's the thing. You start working with people, and then all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, that's a click." No, it's not a click.
It's not a click. I know they're going to come. On the
I
right
know they're going to
time.
show up on time. They're going to do
you're
a
going to
great
deliver
job.
the
That's
20
it.
minutes. You're going to do this. You're going
Right.
to do that. Yep. So
Yeah, and it's important. I tell a lot of comics, like, because I've been doing this for 11 years, and sometimes I still feel like, you know what I mean, like, because I'm like in the middle. I tell people, right now I'm in the middle. Like, right, you've
Right.
been doing it 30 plus, you've been doing it 20 plus. So I'm at the point where people are looking at me like big bro, and I'm like, big bro?
Well, he
I'm still
said
a
it before.
baby. I'm still a baby.
He
Like,
said
what?
it before. He's 20-something years in, and when newer comics ask him for advice, he's like, "You're asking me for advice?"
Don't ask me. Ask people like Ace for advice, not me.
But some people ask me. I've only recently gotten comfortable with that, but before that, I'd be like, "No, ask Charlie Hall or Frank O'Donnell,
right.
like guys that have been doing it for 45 years."
And that's a good thing to be humble like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I never feel like I don't want to have the attitude like I deserve this. No, I have to continuously go out and earn it.
Right.
I have to keep earning it.
Yeah, I had that attitude, like I deserve it. And when
we all
when I
do at
switched
some
it,
point. We all
when
do
I
at some
switched it,
point.
that's when the blessings came
And you
in.
exactly, and you
That's
get
when I
more
switched
work.
it. Yeah, when I switched it, and I was like, because my girl, shout out to her, man. She was like, "Hey, you gotta." She's the one that
She
really
put you in check.
Well, she put me in because like I had, I'm a guy. I had merch.
Yep.
And she was like, "It's not even wrapped right. You just got it in bags. What are you doing?"
Right,
She's like,
right.
"You need orders." She's like, "You need to chill that ego out. You need to certain stuff. You got to be thankful." She was like, "She goes, Anthony, when you're on flyers and you're doing stuff, there's somebody who's wanting to do what you're doing and they can't or whatever." She goes, "Be thankful for every opportunity. Don't act like it's given." Nobody owes you shit. You need to build. You can't be playing around. She's like, you got to work hard just like everybody else. And, me, that entitlement feeling, I was just like, once that changed, it just put a different, like I said, I'm operating in different vibrations. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys hit me up.
Yeah.
I felt like if I had that ego before, that never would have happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just the simple fact of me just building the right way, doing the right
You're
things.
just focusing on moving forward, and that
Yeah.
attracts positivity.
Yeah.
So
Man, this was great.
no shit, I know we're already like over an hour and a half. I can't believe we've been on that long.
It flies.
But it's
when you're having a great conversation,
Exactly.
it's so easy for it to just fly by. What can we promote for you?
All right, so I got a few shows. I'm pretty much I'm at the Comedy Park now. I do a lot of shows at the Comedy Park. So I got one monthly show I called the Comedy Storm. I do that once a month, and I got Big Laugh Saturdays. So we do that, and I got Joselito the puppet. Joselito the puppet.
I
He's a
saw
Puerto
that.
Rican puppet.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You better get your tickets because I was forced to promote his show.
Really?
I was because I have a method of way I do stuff. I was like, all right, let me kind of whatever. So like I said again, I start from the beginning. I create the flyer. I get I'm at the Comedy Park. I kind of got ideas, whatever the case may be. I build up the lineup. Whatever. So I do what I do, and so I put it on Eventbrite, and I was like, I'm gonna just let it sit. And next thing I know, there was like 15 tickets sold, and the show is in April 28th. Friday.
Okay. Yep.
So, like I said, I do the Comedy Park, Big Laugh Saturdays, and we do the Comedy Storm. So basically, I'm there bi-weekly. We're also going to be doing the 1-year anniversary weekend show,
Oh, nice.
and I'm pretty much putting that together too because, with the Comedy Park, it was opportunity that was given to me because of me just bothering Bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was really bothering Bill, and this is gonna sound messed up. I'm sorry, guys, but because I'm nosy.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Bill, and I was like, I see, I'm looking at the Comedy Park, whatever. And I was like, white,
Yeah.
white female, like white. And I was like, Bill, we need to work together. There's a little urban shit in there. Let's put a little coffee in that milk.
Right.
Let's switch it up, whatever. And Bill was like, I'm gonna get to you. And
Yeah.
I kept bothering him, like, because I'm like, Bill, hey man, let me just work with you. Let me throw some ideas. Let me bounce. And he's like, I'm gonna get you. Don't worry about it, whatever. And then Bill just hit me up. He's like, listen, man, I'm not doing too good. There's a lot of work. And, he's I'm sick and stuff like that.
The tough thing, too, is it's tough to open up a comedy club in the summer.
In the summer.
Especially in New England because everyone's on vacation. Everyone's
beach.
down at the beach. So it was kind of set up for not being very a strong start, and I think they've built through now on the fall between your shows, between my shows, between Parada shows. Now I think people understand, hey, this is an established club. Let's move forward with it and keep building. So I think, like I said, I've got a Royal Flush going on there the night after yours, so on April 29th, and then I got another one booked for June 10th, and I'll probably do one in August. I'm doing them every other month.
Yeah.
But it took time to build that.
Yeah, and I told Bill, man, I said, listen, and this is why I want to talk about the 1-year comedy anniversary because, like I said, I was in Bill's ear because I was with Bill doing Funny for Funds before it was Funny for Funds. Me and Mike Murray used to be in Johnston outside, whatever. I got like pictures, but this was before they had a trailer, the sign, whatever. Like I was doing the funny. People don't know. I'm like, there was a Funny Funds before Funny for Funds was even like. I'm like, I was there through the beginning, and I did some shows with them in the beginning. I'm like, I've been around. I know. So I was in Bill's ear, whatever the case may be, and it's important for me to let Bill know and everybody know, and that's why I wanted to do the 1-year anniversary show. That's going to be. It's actually going to be a weekend. We're going to have Bill Simas. He's going to headline it on May 13th at the Comedy Park.
Awesome.
Because I'm like, Bill started something, and I feel like, you know what? It doesn't matter who it is, one of us, whoever, whatever we got to do. I'm very different. I know I approach situations with I'm like a softball. You know what I mean? I know I'm different. That's okay. And I told Bill, I'm like, I might approach it. I got a method to my madness. But I felt like I was just like, I was telling Bill, I was like, I'm not going to let what you started fall. I'm going to build it. I'm going to try. I'm like, if anything, I'm going to try. So it's this show, having him doing the 1 year anniversary. Yeah. I feel very, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's like it's more of a
full circle. It makes sense.
It's more of it's a full circle, but it's more of a it's like, thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a thank you, Bill, because I know how the comedy politics are and stuff like that. Having multiple clubs, having multiple places, and to be able to do certain stuff. And shout out to Ed Brady and all the people that at the Comedy Park that allow me to do what I do and certain stuff like that. But that show, I want everybody to come that weekend.
That's awesome.
So I got the 12th and the 13th. I want everybody to come to that show.
Do you have a website, or would Facebook? Where can people follow you so they can get
follow
this
me.
information?
All right, so you can follow the Comedy Park, the Comedy Park page. I actually just got into we just got that part going, so I'm working behind the scenes on that page.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they,
you can follow.
They knew that they had kind of dropped the ball on the page and the website because everything was the Park Theater, and they kind of let the Comedy Park site not go anywhere. But then Victoria started really trying to promote that and bring that up.
I'm
too.
actually administration on the page.
Oh, awesome!
So now you're gonna, like I said, give me some time, because like I said, I don't have somebody that I go to sometimes, not because I don't want to, but I'm building it.
You're learning.
I'm learning it. I'm building it. I'm seeing I used to tag the Comedy Park page or whatever. Over this last week, the last 2 weeks or whatever, we went from having 700 to 700 followers. Now we're in the 800s.
Oh, that's
so I'm
awesome.
gonna try to get it to the thousands, and I'm putting the shows on there. And like I said, I'm starting to just do what I do and just build it up. And I'm thankful for Ed. I'm thankful for Bill. I'm thankful for Mike and all the people that helped me. I'm thankful for my boy Dale, all the way, whatever. Because I didn't know this. I'm gonna say this, but people were paying attention to me. They're like, you doing a Comedy Park now? What happened to Bill? And I'm like, well, Bill, bless me with this opportunity. I'm like, whatever. And people hit me up and whatever. And it's just a dope feeling to just do it. You know what I mean? Like, some people don't realize, in Rhode Island, we don't have much. It's a small state. I'm like, I'm neutral in this. I don't care if you got beef with that one. I don't care about none of that.
Right.
We got the Comedy Park. We got a blessing. We got a blessing. Bill set the tone. I don't care who. Somebody going to take the torch. Fine, I'll take it. Let's just build. I'm going to be honest with you. I want my name. I want my picture on that Rhode Island Hall of Fame. I'm going to get it.
That's a good goal to have.
That's my goal. That's my goal. I'm like, I want my picture right there. Put me kind of close to Ace. And put me close to Ace. Put me close to Ace and John Parada.
All right.
You know what I mean? Put me close to
Work
Ace.
on that second row. That second row is starting to fill in.
It's starting to, I'll take the third
row.
There's
a third row. There'll be a third row.
I know I need time, but that's my goal. I'm putting my Cape Verdean flag, me eating cachupa with a spoon. And
do you hear that, Charlie Hall? He's already giving you ideas.
I'm
on
giving
the
him the
caricature.
ideas. You know what I mean? I want that Cape Verdean background with the flag. Me with a spoon of cachupa. That's my goal.
I am going to that induction ceremony.
I will too.
To that show.
I will.
But here's the thing. I got to build it. And I know I'm not there yet.
Right.
I know I'm not there yet.
No.
But that's a good-ass goal.
But you will be.
It takes a while. But you
Scott,
will be.
I'm going to be there.
You will be.
I'm going to be there.
Because you're willing to put the work in, so you will be.
That's the difference. There's a lot of people who, like you said, entitled. They feel they should be there because they're entitled. Because not because of what they've done or how hard they've worked, but because, I've been around a long time. That's not why I got on. That's not why anyone got on. It has to do with what you've done. Exactly.
They earned it.
I know. Yeah. Every time, like I said, every time I go in there, because I got my rituals now. I look at that wall. I set up for my show, whatever. I look at that wall and I go, I'm going to be there. I was like, not right now. I know. I'm a baby. I was like, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. That's how, and that's one of the goals I set for myself. I'm like, I want to be on that wall, man. I want to be on the wall. Shout out to Rockin' Joe.
Yes.
You know
absolutely.
I mean? Got to give a shout out to him. This
Man,
was a good show.
Holy shit! Thanks, man.
Killed
yeah,
it,
this
brother.
was
These
fun.
guys are fun. Like,
it, brother.
I just drank some good.
Yeah, it's
a good show.
This is just that. This is literally behind the funny. It's like hanging in a green room and just having a great conversation with other comics about the business. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
if you guys
So
enjoyed
listen.
that, I'm going to put some links to Anthony's stuff, to the
Yeah.
Comedy Park, to everything. In
Yeah, to the
today's
Comedy
show
Park.
notes.
You can follow the Comedy Park, Mr. Kuze on Facebook, Mr. Kuze, Mr_Kuze on Instagram. Like I said, the show's going to be on the Comedy Park page. You can check that on the Facebook. I'm building that up. But if you don't want to follow the page, you can follow me on all my social medias, man. Mr. Kuze.
And I'll put links to that in the show
Yeah, you
notes.
can put the links there and
so
all that
that
stuff.
you guys can follow him there, and definitely go check out one of his shows at the Comedy
definitely.
Park. One, the park's a great place to see a show,
Yes.
and two,
yep.
Mr. Kuze books some awesome shows with some great comics, so you will not be disappointed if you go to one of his shows. So, Ace, anything going on?
Yeah, I got all kinds of shit going on, but I don't remember it now.
You don't remember it?
No, honestly, like I said, April 28th and June 10th, I've got 2 more Royal Flush comedy shows coming up. I will be announcing who's on those shows. I'm still solidifying the first lineup, and then I'll get the second lineup. Shout out to our friends on the Mixtape podcast, because they've been mentioning us, and I have to say, I love now that Jason just goes into a butthead impression every once in a while.
Be like from Beavis and Butthead?
Yes, because this guy, literally, I told him he sounded like him just normally, and so now he just goes into it.
These guys are a great
They're
podcast.
awesome,
We had them on as
awesome
guests.
guys.
And, I follow them on Twitter.
Yeah,
And
me
whenever
too.
they throw out a subject or a question on there, I'm
Yeah, you're
answering them
answering it. I
constantly.
know.
I love following these guys.
Twisted Kid Matt is constantly inboxing us like,
Yes.
oh my god, I can't believe this. Like, he's going back and he's listening to shows from like 3 years ago.
They
I
put on
love
a great
those guys.
podcast, and they're really good guys.
Yeah.
So,
Check them out.
Definitely check them out. Go to my new website. Thanks to our friend Vin Giacfoni, ScottHigginsComedy.com. We're starting our 10th season at the Bradley Playhouse. I can't believe
awesome.
10 years.
10 years?
10.
That's
or
in Putnam,
10
right?
season, yes.
I've been checking his flyers up for 10 years.
see?
My
I've been
my
checking
buddy
his flyers
Ace,
up for 10 years.
my buddy Ace Aceto here, and our good friend Mike Murray, and of course our good friend Dr. Jay Sute, who's no longer with us. Was on that
R.I.P.
very first show we ever did there, and from that show we built it into the last 10 seasons of amazing shows. We have 3 shows this year. First one, March 25th. Is going to be an amazing show. Rhonda Corey, Max Docelli, Tracy Locke.
Tracy Locke from New York. That's
Finally
awesome.
got Tracy Locke on the show. She's
Nice.
been so busy. And Dan Smith.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is
That's
gonna
a good
be on the
show.
We're good. We got a really
That's
good
a
show.
good
that
show.
night.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun, that night. But we got 2 more shows later this year in September and November that I'm working on the lineups for those shows.
Nice.
I got a lot of stuff coming up this year. Some really, really good stuff. Second theater that we've added up in Massachusetts for the All-Stars show, and some other big things I'm working on. So definitely go to ScottHigginsComedy.com. All the links are there. So that's...
Yeah. aceaceto.lol if you want to check out what's going on with me. And again, Maddie Loses a Tooth is kicking ass all over Amazon.
Yes, and congrats to the Dr. Seuss.
yeah,
thing
we
you
had
did last
at the
weekend.
Comedy Park.
Yeah,
they
I
did a
seen-
thing.
yeah, I seen.
They did an event at the Comedy Park. It was a bunch of local authors. I got to read.
Yes.
the
You had
story.
a nice audience there.
It was
and-
fantastic. It was so much fun. It was
Congrats,
so
buddy.
adorable.
Congrats.
This little girl was like a 6-year-old girl was off the side of the stage as I'm reading, telling me. Heckling, telling me her life story. I
She
was
heckled
like,
you?
not in a bad way.
Good.
She just wanted to tell her life story as I was reading the,
like,
the
hey, kid,
story.
Flipping the page. Get
But
out of
you
here.
know what?
Get out of here. Scram.
She came up at the end. I went back to my table where I was signing books. She came up at the end. She gave me a Hershey's kiss. She goes, "This was for you. I really liked your book." I almost started crying. I
See,
was like,
that's-
"Oh,
He's
like,
I love
hey,
her."
kid, what do you walk up and down at Wells
Yeah,
Avenue
what do
eating
you-
paste?
Eating paste. What do you do? Kid?
What do you do?
No, folks, listen. We know this was a long one, but hopefully you
Well
enjoyed
worth
this.
it. Well worth it.
A lot of great conversation. So please check us out. We got some amazing guests coming up over the next couple of weeks. I will announce one of them in a few weeks, but I just booked someone for April or May or something like that. And
April 5th.
April 5th. That's right.
So you want to tune in that night.
Yeah,
It's
you
an
want to
exciting
tune in,
one.
and we'll announce who that is next week. But
Yes.
But listen, we really appreciate it. Tell a friend about us, 5-star written reviews. And other than that,
We will talk to you
next week.
Peace out.